TGIF. Hope you all have had a wonderful week. I know you are ready for the weekend to begin. So, welcome to the Just Ask Char advice channel. We will be getting started very soon. So get comfortable, get ready, and relax. We sincerely thank you all for your support. This channel is sponsored by you, the subscribers. When you want to hear another perspective for yourself or a friend, then just send an email for advice to JustAskChar@gmail.com. All right, we are ready to get this show started. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend. There will always be a perspective or some advice that someone can benefit from and use. Now, here's your host of the show, Char Willie.
Greetings, greetings, greetings. TGIF, everyone. How are you? What's going on? What is happening? What's happening? Everybody doing well? I sure hope so. How you doing, Omar? Glad to see you. Good to see you. Well, the time is going past quickly. I was in denial, but it's true. I'm trying to make it stop, but I look up, I'm like, hey, where's the sun? Where's that other hour I remember? But yeah, the time is moving. It is moving. Getting darker earlier, the kids going back to school, I tell you. I'm like, man. But nothing you could do about it. Just try to make the best out of your time. Because you cannot, and I repeat, you cannot get it back. Once it's gone, it is gone. A lot of people don't take advantage of time. You should. That's my advice. Let's see. Oh, I had well, I'm still dealing with this, so I'm gonna have to deal with it, and hopefully it'll work out. It's just that I skipped a step, I guess you would say, and skipping that step make me have to double back. And the best way I can describe my whole adventure, when I sum it up in a nutshell, is it's very costly. It is expensive to be poor. That's how I'm going to say it. I can even use the word broke. Yeah, I can use the word broke. It's expensive being broke. Do you understand? It just doesn't work out. I was cutting corners with my pay-as-you-go plan, which was fine. But I had to upgrade. I just had to. I went to the UPS store yesterday, and I was doing an exchange. And I brought up my email. At least I tried to bring up my email in the store. And the guy that works there knew immediately that we had to step outside. So I'm sure I'm not the only customer. He knows how it goes. He's like, oh, you got you a discount plan, don't you, girl? Let's step outside so your email can move a little faster. The code had just disappeared. It mysteriously disappeared. And I'm standing in the store like, wait a minute, where's the rest of the email? So we stepped outside. I refreshed it, and it moved faster and came right on up. I said, this is ridiculous. So I take myself today to do a little shopping for a plan. Still on a discount now. Hey, I'm sorry, I'm not paying no $100 no month. I just do not do that much talking. I just don't. I do more texting, emailing, stuff like that. But a phone bill, $80 and then $20 worth of taxes. Did you know that in Chicago they jack you up when it comes down to taxes? Oh yeah. You get you one of them post pay plans and see what happens. You walk out of there thinking you're gonna pay. Let's say they give you a $60 plan, which is fair. That's a fair price. You think you're gonna walk out there and you get your bill for $60? Oh no. You're gonna open that bill the next month, $78.75. You're like, what where all this come from? And I actually had a talk with someone in the AT&T store, and I know she laughed. I didn't care. I just didn't care. I couldn't do it. I told her, I'm sorry. If I get the phone and if I do monthly installments, just because you offer me a good deal, I got to pay taxes on the phone every month. What sense does that make? I got to pay all the taxes on the phone when I walk in, and then I got to pay the taxes every month on the monthly installment. And then they tried to do it for 36 months. I said, I'm not trying to buy a used car. I just want a telephone. That's it, a cell phone. What the world is going on? I don't see how you guys do it. I just don't. I know some people just write that check or whatever they do for that 75 or $80 a month. I'm sorry. I don't see the value in that when I'm not talking on the phone that much. You know, text is the thing now. You ready? What time you coming? I'm downstairs. Come upstairs. I'm going to be outside. Give me 15 minutes. I don't pick up the phone to do that. Ring. I'm coming downstairs. Ring. Come upstairs first. I don't do that. I do the text. And I just can't do $80 a month for some text. Let's talk about text, baby. $80, I can't. I'm sorry. Now, if I had it like that, if I was six figures like all of you, then that's a difference. Then I would do it. But I can't. So what can I say? So without further ado, let's welcome the lovely Classic Ruby, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Come on, you don't have to stand and applaud for me. You know I can't see you, but I love you guys for doing it. It's always a pleasure. How you doing this evening, Shar? How you doing?
I am good. I have a non-working phone, and I'll give the details of that tomorrow once it gets solved. It'll be an interesting story. Yes, it will be.
Oh, girl, I love any version of Shar's Office Tales. Okay, y'all, if you weren't around like 5 years ago, you wouldn't know. Okay, Shar tells these stories amazingly. If you have not heard them, you've been missing out. Show up. Now, I'm going to say something about the phone thing, though, because a lot of people don't know and realize that there really is a difference between all the companies. Other than just like obvious differences, we know some companies work better in certain circumstances or they have a different selection as far as phones. But some companies are geared towards business users. Some are geared towards, personal, some are geared towards kids. And as crazy as this sounds, for the young population and the older population right now, they're basically almost in the same place. Because the older populations have never really had cell phones to be up on them 24/7. Because even back, we'll say like 20 years ago or whatever, they'll just use the home phone, right? The cell phone's in case of emergencies, the cell phone's when they're out in case of something. They don't use it the way, say, teenagers do. And now teenagers don't call people. So looking for a company that services teenagers is a good plan because they come up with plans that are data only plans, pretty much, right? So you're not using the phone to actually make calls, it's just to text and to use the internet. So those companies might be a better option because then they'll have a plan that you're not paying for unlimited calling or whatever when you don't really want or need it. Having 100 minutes or something per month would be enough as long as you have the text and the data included. So sometimes it's worth shopping around. And then you do this. Everybody on the plane, I'm going to tell everybody, this is my hustle. Okay. I have signed 2 contracts, in 11, 12, 13 years, actually with 14 years with this one company. And I've gotten a new phone often, okay? At least, and I don't sign contracts for them or whatever, because I know the hustles. So if I give you guys information, listen to me. Now, this is what you do. You shop around, okay?
Mhm.
You find those plans, especially the ones that are like, oh, new customers, sign up now and whatever, right? And you find out what that promotion is and what that price is and what it includes, right? And then you call your company and you tell them you're canceling your service. They're going to ask you why. You're going to say, well, hey, listen, I don't need unlimited calling and all this stuff you're forcing me to pay for. And I found this company. The company's name is this, and I can pay 50% less and get exactly what I need, which is this amount of text, this amount of data, and whatever, right? Now, they have 2 different things. Sometimes they'll try to call your bluff and they'll be like, all right, I'll set your cancellation and whatever. And sometimes they'll be like, hold on, you said cancellation. Let me transfer you over to someone who could help you with that, right? And
Mhm.
those people are authorized to basically price match other companies. So if another company really has this promotion going on, they know about it. They won't like offer it to you unless you're going to cancel and switch companies, but it's cheaper for them to retain an old customer than it is to get a new customer to replace you. So they would rather just give you that deal than let you leave. So that's the trick. So go do all of your groundwork, go find a better price with another company with the exact same phone, all that, find the better price, and then you bring it to your company, you say, I'm going to cancel. Here's why I'm going to cancel, and allow them to do the rest. Trust. It works. It really does.
Okay.
Hmm.
I'll see how that goes. Right now, I'm still doing a prepay plan, but
Hmm.
I have did some shopping around. I've been looking really for like 30 days. I've just been in the stores for the past 2 days.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I've been looking.
Hey, they're around. I mean, obviously, I'm not American, so I can only really speak to what we have in
Hmm.
Canada. And I know that I can't remember which one of the providers it is, but basically, what they have is it's still like prepaid. You buy minutes or you put a certain amount of money on like your account, and then you apply that money however you want. So you can buy a text messaging bundle or you can buy the data bundle or whatever it is, right? And so you don't actually have to buy unlimited nights and weekends if you don't want to. You basically kind of sign up for it every month as you're uploading your account. So I don't know if they have anything for like that in America. I'll take a look. I'm gonna have to ask my sister. I know she's with the company that does that. So I'll ask her what that company is and find the details and see if America has something similar. But like, come on, they've got it because they know they're
Hmm.
trying to force everyone into this monthly payment system. They try to make prepaid as unattractive as possible by, you used to have your minutes roll over. Like as long as you kept topping it up with $10 or whatever, your minutes would roll over. Then they stopped doing
Yeah.
that. So then you started losing it. And people were mad because they lost like 10,000, 100,000 minutes because they had been rolling over for, decades. So they were trying to force people out of it, and it's like, nah, I would still rather pay $10 a month. Thanks though, right? So like, they're trying to get everyone on the monthly guarantee. We're gonna still have money from you. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Man, it just ain't right.
I know. The way of the world. I mean, you just do what I do. I just cancel everything. Like, I canceled my cable. I don't watch it. So, like, and I kept it for years and I didn't watch it. But I'm paying like $160 a month. So that way, when Dance Moms was on, like when it was a new season of Dance Moms, I could watch it. I paid $160 a month all year round. So that way, for 6 months out of the year, I could watch Dance Moms. I swear, like that was really what I was doing. So I finally was just like, forget it. I'm canceling my cable, right? And they were so upset with me, like, oh, but come on, guys, you know that the boxes aren't even active on my account, and I have 6 boxes. I didn't even return the boxes. I kept paying to rent the stupid boxes. Okay,
Oh boy.
yo, that's why they do this, because the millennial generation is very lazy, right? So we'll just get ourselves caught up in the honey trap, right? Just keep paying the money because it's easier. Maybe we might want to have cable one day. No, I just cancel cable. Forget it. Forget it. This is just like, it's so stupid.
Wow.
I
Okay.
know. Took the plunge.
Yeah, I'm doing all YouTube. And speaking of YouTube, look at Lil Rock. He just come in with the flower bond. He ain't put the yo. He just
Hey
get
now.
lazier and lazier. Isn't that something? Ain't that something? Ain't that? Yeah, yeah.
It's
Yo,
all
yo.
right. So Tyrone Church said hi to us. So what's up, Tyrone? No.
Mm-mm-mm.
Oh, there you go. There you go. We got our yo. All right.
Mm-mm-mm. Shame.
Right? Damn. All right
No
then.
love. But
Right.
anyway, we're going to see what kind of love we're going to get with this letter. Someone giving me a letter. It's been a long time.
Mhm.
And I went through it slowly. I thought about it, did some research because I don't like, especially when it comes down to people that you may know, I do not like to say something that I can't verify.
Mhm.
And so it took a little while. So I don't know what the outcome is, but let's see what's going on.
All right.
All right.
Mm.
Greetings, everyone. This is Shar. For advice, you can send it to JustAskChar@gmail.com. Today I have a letter from a gentleman, and he writes, Dear Shar, I am a content creator and I am concerned about my name being used in a magazine without my consent. Now, because this is a content creator, I will make sure that he has anonymity, so I will not read his letter verbatim. I would use the highlighted points in the letter of his concerns, and I will only speak on those things. And thank you for your letter. Okay. In the letter, you mentioned that there was a live stream that you watched, and this is where you first gained knowledge of said magazine, as well as your name in the magazine. In the live stream, you mentioned that the owner stated that he had been a supporter and had been around for several years. I have been in the space since 2015, and I have not seen either name that he uses. I have not seen the avatar. I have not seen the name Father Time or Dr. Spencer Holman. You're not the only one that has never seen his name before. And I used to mod a minimum of 15 channels. I've never seen a comment in the comments section or in a live stream under either name. So I've not seen them either. You mentioned that the owner stated in the live stream that this move was to help you, i.e. black men, in this space, the manosphere. It was a way of giving back. Now, when I read that, I chuckled to myself because that reminds me of a scene in the movie What's Love Got to Do with It?
They call it not boy city limit.
Hey, look here, what the fuck was that? What the problem is? What, you done forgot the words?
Of course I can remember the words, Ike. I wrote it.
Yeah, you wrote the motherfucking song and now you can't even remember the goddamn words? I mean, what the fuck you doing? Yeah, all right now, look, ain't nobody gonna buy this motherfucker unless you sing this motherfucker the way I know you can sing it, Ann.
I'm trying to help, Ike, all right?
Trying to help Ike. You trying to help Ike? I ain't the motherfucker that need help. You the one that needs some help.
As you see clearly, Tina has written a song, so she written it and she has the melody of what she wants it to be. It's her song. However, in the clip, Ike says she's the one that needs help, not him. You also mentioned in the letter that the owner offers a sponsorship and it's a product that focuses on male sexual enhancement. Now, I don't know about you really personally, but I don't find you being the face of that type of product. But I do picture Bob.
This is Bob. Bob is doing well. Very well indeed. That's because not long ago, with just a quick phone call, Bob realized that he could have something better in his life. And what did he get? Why, a big boost of confidence, a little more self-esteem, and a very happy missus at home. This is Bob. Bob is looking cool. And with a call to insight about natural male enhancement, Bob is living large. In a few short weeks, Bob has a big new spring of confidence. A generous swelling of pride. And the one thing every man deserves, a little well-earned respect from the neighborhood.
I used to love those commercials. I even went to buy the t-shirt, but they had caught them for fraud for the product, so I never got a chance, but I did want that t-shirt. Is that something that you endorse? Are you okay with that? That's something that you may want to consider. You also mentioned that the owner stated that the magazine is free, but Amazon requires him to charge 99 cents. And my question is, so if it's free, but it's a charge of 99 cents and your name is in it, do you get a copy at no charge? Were you even offered a copy of the magazine? Now, going back to you gaining knowledge of this in a live stream, I would say the answer to that is no. Because you just found out this information in a live stream, I'm just wondering, what if you weren't able to watch the live stream? What if you had to work that day or do something with your family or anything? You were sick or decided to watch Netflix. How would you have gotten the information that you were able to watch, because the original live stream was taken down and you would have had to rely on other content creators to discuss it, because it was talked about in different live streams, but that's where you would have gained knowledge. So how is that respectful and how is that helping you? Let's go back to helping you. Yeah, how is that helping you? How does it help you for your name to be in a magazine that you don't know about, that you found out happenstance, that is supposed to be free, however it has to be a charge, and you weren't even given a copy because you didn't even know about it because you weren't contacted? So it's a lot of confusion here for me, and I don't like confusion, so the answer for me would just be really clear. But as far as what you're asking for my advice, these are just things that I want you to consider when you make your decision of whatever that would be. How do you know what's in the magazine? And more so, do you agree with it? And what if you did not agree with it? Is that something that you want your name attached to? Would you know beforehand? Because starting off, if you didn't know, if you weren't told before, what are the chances of you being contacted to know or getting an advance copy to know if that's something that serves a good purpose for you with your name being used? There was no. All right, that's halfway in. Did you have anything you want to start off with?
Yes, I do. Yeah. Listen, and I think you brought up the point well enough, and I think that okay. Here's the thing: when someone wants to help you, right, that normally involves talking to you, right? Because, like, think about it this way, right? Because people are trying to compare this to, for example, Expose the Manosphere, who actually does reach out to some of these content creators and asks them if they want to comment on the story he's going to do. Most of them say no. But with that being said, he's not really out to try to help people. He is critiquing what has been put out there, right? He is critiquing it. So he's saying, hey, listen, you've done it. I want to critique it, right? And they are trying to compare what Father's Time is doing to what Expose the Manosphere is done. Well, come on, at least this way, this is he's trying to help you. But no, he's not. Because if he's trying to help you, he reaches out to you and he says, hey, brother, listen, I got this thing going on, right? And I want to use it to help brothers like you get your message out. So let me do an interview for you, or, send me some advertising for your channel, whatever, and I'm going to put it up and advertise you. But that's not what he's doing, right? So more so, what it seemed very much like to me, at least, right, is what he wanted was something to authenticate the legitimacy of his magazine. That is to say, he is nobody, no matter how many lies he tells about how long he's been around. The only place he's been is one place, and that was only like a year ago. So no one knows him. He has no pull. He has no clout. He has no identity in this space or in these topics. So what he wanted was for a bunch of people who do have those things, their names specifically, to give him legitimacy. And how do you do that? Well, you just steal their name.
So you never heard of him either?
Ever. And listen, I've got a pretty good memory for this, but not half as good as Char's. But what I do have is a wealth of screenshots and downloaded videos from 5 years ago until present day. Actually, some of them are even before 5 years ago, because you watch things that were done 7-8 years ago to try to catch up on storylines and stuff. And no, I've never seen his name. I've never seen an avatar that looks remotely like him. I've never seen any of even his catchphrases and stuff that he has littered all over his various websites, right? Never seen any of it at all. So no, pretty sure he didn't exist. If he did, he was hiding in the clouds. That doesn't give you legitimacy for you to speak, period. But anyway, so now you want to take these people's names and put it into the magazine as though this is really their magazine, right? They have co-founded this with you. That's what you're trying to make it seem like to the average person. So, well, so-and-so says this. So-and-so's co-signing this. Well, I should get this then. I should sign up for this. That's what it was. And for that man to sit there and have the unmitigated gall, unmitigated gall to say, well, it would have taken too long to have to talk to all the people on the list. That would have taken 6 months. No one has time for that, which is why I just plugged your name in. That tells you he wasn't trying to help none of y'all. He didn't even want to take the time to reach out to you, which honestly would not have taken no 6 months. It would have taken you, what, 2 weeks maximum to get everyone's email addresses, shoot them all the same form letter saying the same damn thing, and you could have talked to, what, 20, 30 people in another week. So, no, you didn't want to talk to anybody. You didn't want to try to sell this to anybody. And you definitely didn't want to help anybody. This is not about them or helping them. So the fact that the brother who wrote in had misgivings, like, kudos to you. You should, because this is something that they like to do to Black people. I'm sorry, but I've been seeing this since the dawn of time. We all have. Mm-hmm. They think that just recently, they allowed Black athletes, well, okay, fine, all college athletes, but let's be real, Black athletes to own their own names in college. Before that, they weren't allowed to profit from their own names, but the college,
right,
the college could own their name and profit from their name, even though the individual could not. They've been doing this to us, and this brother's just doing the same thing. I don't even know if I want to call him a brother. Same thing, like Suge Knight tactics, right? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I was taken aback when the young man said that he learned about this. This is where he gained knowledge in a live stream. And I'm just thinking, well, what if he wasn't there to, do the live stream? Because not everyone, well, those that actually work, they don't have six figures and have a family and actually have a woman, that they have to say, hello, dear, would you like me to go to grocery shopping so I can get some food so you can cook? Let's go out, so people have lives. And that's what I'm wondering. I'm like, well, what if he didn't see it? So I'm like, well, that's disrespectful. Right. I'm like, it was no common courtesy. I put it that way. So I'm going to play a little bit more. Well, I'll play the rest of it, and then we can always backtrack and pull some things out and have a more in-depth discussion.
All right.
Okay. No communication in the beginning, so that's blatant disrespect. So how can you trust anything past day one of your first encounter with this person? It just leaves a lot of questions that need to be answered so far with reading what you've written. I have a live stream every Friday, and depends on what the letter is or the topic, I will share, a personal story about, an event. And this is one I mentioned not too long ago. And you may not have heard it, so I'll share it with you now. There was a job that I was working, and it was in the mid-90s, I believe. And this company I worked for, they volunteered my information to a charity. And it left a really bad taste in my mouth, and let me explain that. I'm sitting at my desk, and the manager walks up and hands me a card. And on this card has my name, has my social security number, and it had the minimum amount to donate checked off. So I looked at it and I'm like, I don't know this charity, and why do they decide for me if I want to give to this charity just because I work for this company? So I torn the card up, especially since it had my social security number on it, and I threw it in the garbage. So the manager approached me, I think the end of the week or the following week, and asked where was my card because it was missing. So I told her, I said, well, I'm not interested in donating to that charity. So I torn the card up and threw it in the garbage. And she says, "Oh, no, no, no. You have to give it back." I said, "Well, I'd thrown it in the garbage." So she gave me a blank card. I had to write my name, social security number, and write that I was not interested in donating to that charity. Now, I had to do that. However, I felt some kind of way, and I let the manager know. Why do I have to do this? Why am I being volunteered to donate to a charity I do not know of? And I'm the one that have to opt out of it. Why do I have to do that? And because of that experience, I'm not even going to consider that charity. Now, it could have just been the company. The company could have done that on its own. But because it was attached to the charity, every time I see the name of that charity, I just go the opposite direction. I'm like, I am not contributing just because of that bad experience. And that was my first experience. So unfortunately, sometimes things can carry on and you have that feeling. And I have that feeling about this charity every time I see it. But on that note, that charity is nowhere within 50 miles of the Black community. You also mentioned in a letter that the owner said the magazine will be in a church. I'm not quite sure if your content would be something that anyone in a church would like to listen to. And that's no disrespect to your content, but let's be honest, some of the things that's discussed is not something that is taught in a church or even the church discuss on any given Sunday. So that's different. You also mentioned that you had concerns about women being involved with the writing and editing. No disrespect to me. And there's no disrespect taken. I understand what you mean. And you said that there are two names, and one that is a content creator you're familiar with, and the other name you never heard of. And when this was mentioned to the owner, he stated that he had the final word, and he only had the two women there for another set of eyes. You may want to question that because the content creator, Ramil, only have 5 characters in his name, and that was misspelled. So that's just some food for thought. And lastly, you mentioned that the owner said he had no regret on how he did it because it would have taken 6 months or longer to go around and get every content creator's consent. With that being said, he's telling you you actually did not have any choice. Attached in the description area is a video from a male content creator that looks into this a little deeper. You can take a listen to that as well. All right. Welcome to the panel, Vonda. How are you? Welcome.
Here you go. Hey.
Hey, Char. Hey, Ruby. Thanks for having me.
Anytime.
Always a pleasure.
So this person put these people's names in this magazine without their permission.
Yes.
And they think that that was okay. And because it would have taken 6 months to get everybody's permission, it was like, you know what, I'm going to make an executive decision for you. I'm going to opt you in.
Yep.
And if you want to opt out, you need to come back to me and let me know that you want to opt out.
Well, to be fair, I don't think his plan was ever to let anyone opt out. He added in the option to opt out when there was such outrage about people's names being stolen to be put into this magazine to represent his magazine, even though they didn't know the magazine existed.
To me, that just sound it. To me, it just sounds it sounds shady. Only because, I mean, if this is something that is, to benefit me and, to benefit the organization as a whole, you don't think it would have been, respect to let me know that you're, for instance, if my name were in it, you're going to put my name in it. Like when you mentioned, Char, about, the donation, they opted you into this, this, donation, and
Yeah.
you had a card already, with the amount on it, and your name, your social security number, and it was already a given. Yes, you're going to donate. And you're like, I didn't sign this. I didn't request this. I didn't approve this. Oh, well, we need you to give us a card to say you don't want to do it. So
Right.
I have to tell you, first, you can't ask me and give me the yay or nay to do it. You're going to give me a yes, and then I have to come back to tell you, no, I don't want to do it. I don't like that, because when you start talking about that, you start talking about my money. And you know what? I have a huge problem with someone telling me what I'm going to do with my money, because there was no we getting up, clocking in, for that job. There was no we sitting there, putting in those hours. So I don't care if it was $1.50. That $1.50 wasn't just given to me. I had to work for it. So no one's going to tell me what I can do with my money.
Mm-hmm. And I would like to be clear before we continue. Listen, there are, I think, a lot of great guys in messages I actually agree with. I know no one agrees with me about red pill being, valid sound, and fine. There are messages I agree with in the manosphere, and there are people and messages I don't like or agree with, and there are people I literally don't like. Okay, but this isn't about, as a personal individual, do I like this person or do I dislike this person? Do I like the message or do I dislike the message? Do I personally think that message should or should not represent the manosphere? It has nothing to do with that. Right? We've really got to look at some of these topics sometimes like on their face, right? And I think that, for people who are maybe not in the manosphere or anti some of the messages, they're not able to see this as objectively as they should, because just think about it. What if I stole Vonda's name? And I keep using the word stole for a reason, right? Because it's her name, right? Okay. So I'm going to take Vonda's name and her image, okay? And I'm going to start a Patreon, okay? And I'm going to call that Patreon Black Women of the Manosphere, right? And then, well, who are the Black Women of the Manosphere? And I'm going to say Vonda H, right? And Char Willie. And I'm going to name all these women, right? Queen, Poetic Kells. I'm going to name all these women. And I'm not even going to talk to them about it. I'm just going to take their names. And I'm going to take their names, put it in my magazine, say they represent this magazine, the message that we have, right? And this is how they identify as well, by the way, right? They want to be associated with this, right? So then now you buy my magazine, you look at it, you say, oh, that Vonda H, she's a beautiful woman. Okay. Oh, and she's down for being for the manosphere and their messages and being a woman of the man. Okay, great. I'm going to buy 3. I'm going to sign up too because Vonda said so. Now, it doesn't matter if we think people should think like that. They do. And then Vonda finds out that her name and likeness is in my magazine on my Patreon, right? Because someone did a live stream about it. I didn't do a live stream about it and invite people, mind you. Someone else did a live stream and then called me out on it.
Right.
That's theft. Like,
but you were trying to help Vonda though.
Right. Like how? Think about that, right? Especially now, right? Because a lot of people are getting it lost in the sauce. Well, these guys are manosphere and da-da-da. Well, okay. Vonda's not a woman of the manosphere. But I've decided that not only is she, but I've decided to use her as a mascot for my cause, right? So how am I helping Vonda? Right? That doesn't make any sense. Vonda's name and image are helping me now, right? Because people are going to go, maybe they're going to check out, she doesn't have a channel, but they're going to go check out her channel and her content and her website, and they're going to say, oh, a woman who thinks like that and does all this, she is representing this women of the manosphere, even though she doesn't, even though she would never co-sign any of the messages I have inside of my magazine whatsoever. But I'm saying she's a mascot, right? So I'm saying she co-signs all of this, right? And so it doesn't even matter, even if somehow something he said in the magazine, all or most or none of it, represents what any of these guys actually think. It's irrelevant. It doesn't matter because he has decided to use them as mascots for free. Did he set up that when he starts selling it for $5.99, then 99 cents, then free, whatever? Did he set up that they were going to get a small commission even for their using their name and likeness, for using their message, for using them? Right? Because last time I checked, Michael Jordan, all those people, they get paid when someone uses their name or likeness to sell a product, right?
Mhm.
Trump loves to put his name all over all kinds of buildings that don't actually belong to him and have nothing to do with him. Why? Because they actually pay him for the use of his name. That's why they pay him to use his name. You can't just use people's names and for free. And then, well, I was helping you. Hey, guess what? All those people who are using Trump's name all over New York and whatever, they're actually helping Trump because it's giving people the false impression that he owns more buildings than he does. True story.
Which is what it's done. That's true.
Right? So it is helping Trump technically, but guess what? It's helping the people who own that building as well because they know that Trump's name, for God knows what reason, but for Trump's name gives your stuff a lot of clout. So your building is going to bring in more profitable renters. You're going to be able to charge more per month and so on and so forth because Trump's name is attached to the building. So it actually does help both people, but it only helps both people if Trump is getting paid in actual dollars, right? But even though he has the added social clout because his name's on the building, you see it more often, make all these assumptions, but they actually physically pay him money. That's the way business works. You can't just use someone's name and likeness to advertise your stuff for free. And that's really, in essence, what he's doing. And they can say all they want. Oh, well, how would anyone know that your name's in the magazine? Because the only way that you were selling this magazine was going to be through word of mouth. And so through people reviewing it, for people looking at that and saying, oh, well, brother so-and-so, he's in this magazine. So since I'm pro brother so-and-so, I guess I should get it. That's the only way you were going to sell this magazine. How else were you advertising it? Who were you advertising it to? You said it was for the Brothers of the Manosphere, right?
If you didn't have any, there were no names named in it, and you're calling this a Manosphere, publication, but no one that's in the Manosphere is associated with it. So there had to be some credibility. I mean, you can best believe that, if I took Trump's name and I just opened something and put his name on it, he's going to sue me until I'm underneath the ground and I'll never be able to, dig my way out of it, for using his name without his permission, So it's like, you can't do that. You have to get that permission, you have to get that okay.
What I was, well, a lot of it kind of upset me, and I tried to make sure I didn't put too much emotion in the video when I was, discussing some of the things, because it was like the stuff that the guy mentioned. I'm like, are you kidding me? But I'm not telling the author of the letter that I know you're lying, because he was telling the truth. So I had to remove him out the way and look at the person who actually said it. I'm like, are you kidding me? You want me to believe that? And I'm like, wait a minute. Well, he was, talking to him. His name is in the magazine. He's talking to him. So I removed myself. I'm like, okay, isn't this interesting? But as far as the helping part, back to that, me and a couple of my friends, we still joke today about that Ike and Tina saying. That's just the funniest thing to us in the world. She's a darn singer, writer, and everything, but I tell myself she the one needs some help. I'm like, okay, you all right. You something wrong with you, man. It's gonna be all right. But I'm still, pointing out the fact that it was supposed to help him. It was supposed to be a tribute to him, but he wasn't told. And that's I can't get past that. I'm like, how are you helping me? How are you contributing something to me and you don't tell me? And then I don't know what's in said magazine. You could tell me anything you want, but a lot of stuff that was said beforehand doesn't appear to be true. So,
Yeah.
am I going to believe anything from now on that you may say? Because
Hmm.
it doesn't make any sense. And then back to it's just so much. I'm just jumping all over the place. You say you support me, but I've never seen you.
Seen you. Yeah.
Right.
And the guy said he'd never seen him before, ever. Not a super chat, not a what do you call the thing? A share,
Hmm.
a anything. So I'm like, well, how? What is the support? What does that mean?
Oh, but catch the lie though, right? See, here's the thing. And this is how you can tell a snake oil salesman, and he's not even a good one, right? Because he contradicts himself constantly, sometimes back to back sentences. So you're going to say, I support you, brothers. I support you, brothers. So you might not know me, but I know you because I supported you, brothers. So he says that. And then, almost like in the next sentence, he turns around and says, well, the reason why you don't know me is because of all the beef in the sector. And so the channel that I'm always on in the last year, he did say in the last year, y'all don't come around because of the beef. Wait, what? Hold on. So,
Huh?
first of all, you literally said the channel that you've been on in the last year that you've been supporting is a channel. You admit that. Okay. You say 1 year. Second of all, you admit that no one could have possibly seen you unless they were on that channel. So, if you've only been on one channel and that's the only place anyone could ever have seen you in a chat room somewhere, then how do you support everyone else?
Yeah.
How is it everyone else's fault and everyone else has made things into a beef thing and so on and so forth? Because if you support all these people and you've heard of all these people you put on the list because you've been supporting all these people, then why aren't you over in their chat rooms watching their even occasional stream? So they could recognize you. Oh, I remember, yeah, you're that guy who did that $120 super chat. You're that guy who da 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 da. You're that guy who came onto so and so's. No, you've never been on anyone else's channel, and you freely admit this because you say that's why no one recognizes your name. It's because the one place they could recognize you from, they don't go to, which means you don't support any other channel but that one person's channel.
The research I've done, he said that he liked to be in the background.
Uh huh.
So
Right. Mm.
yeah, so that I definitely heard. So I guess the background is just the background. So no one's ever seen you. So
Right. So you've been in the background, right? And the only time you come to the foreground is when you're on this one person channel. Listen, most of us, when we've come to these YouTube spaces, we all kind of come the same way. First, we float in the clouds for a while and we just watch stuff, right? And then we don't know. Are we even allowed to really write in the chat? Or is this like I don't know if I'm going to get just blazed right away or what? And then you try like a quick, hey guys, and just see what happens, right? You get blocked immediately. People say, hey, back, what's going to happen, right? And then you get comfortable in the one place, and then you go to another place that you've been in the clouds in, and you see that one person you know. So you go, hey, to that one person, and
hmm
and you slowly expand yourself out, right? So, and I mean, that's like a natural course of action for most people. So if you've been around even for a year, and you were supporting many channels over the course of that year, well, you would have done something similar where the people, because no matter how much beef there is, you're always going to have crossover of viewers. Okay. That's just how it is. And so you would have had the opportunity to say hi to at least 1, 2 people you know from one of the other channels if you had ever been there, except you had never been there for you to say hi to anyone.
And then also the fact of the matter is that a lot of the content creators, their name is their brand. Their name is part of their branding.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be putting my name on something, I need to know what that is so that I can give clearance for it, because maybe I don't want to be associated with it. What type of magazine is this? I know you're telling me one thing, but let me see like a copy of it or something. Let me review it so that I can give you the okay to put my name on this, because maybe I don't want to put my name on that. Because once your name is, your branding is very important, and it can change.
Yep, absolutely.
And I mentioned that too to the author of the letter. I'm like, did you get a copy? I said, even though I knew the answer because he said it earlier in the letter, that he found out through a live stream. So of course he never got an advance copy, but I just gave them that to think about. Your name is being used. Do you know what's in the magazine? Do you agree with it? If you didn't agree with it, then you have to have your name removed. But will it be too late because you're not getting anything in advance? But the one thing I did know was the penis pills that are pushed in that's a brand that the guy have. So I just threw that in there, and I don't know the man's sexual history or nothing, but I'm just gonna just say I don't think he needs anything. That's just my guess. I don't know. I'm just guessing he don't need anything. So with that being said, do you want to be associated with some penis pills?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's like I maybe I'd want to think twice before my name's associated with that. If that's something that you're pushing, maybe I don't agree with that, and I don't want my name associated with that. And I think each person whose name was added onto that has a right to opt out, and they shouldn't have to have their name on it first to say, "Oh, no, I don't want to be on it," to be taken off of it. The proper thing would have been to get the okay before the publication was printed out.
Well, yeah, I mean, especially because, and I want to be clear about this as well, right? Because if you've got someone who sits there and tells y'all, this is the thing that I think is just, it's mind-blowingly brilliant and sick at the same time, right? So you're going to come in and say, brothers, he used the N-word, but y'all know it's not my word. So brothers have been sleeping. Y'all have been sleeping. Wait. Well, I mean, we all is sleeping. We all is sleeping, and you know what the white man does? The white man comes and he buys up everything, right? And then he owns everything of ours, and then the message is controlled by some white man who don't understand us, right? So that's why I wanted to step in and be the white man, right? So I am gonna own y'all's space, and then I can dictate what y'all do in the space, right? To protect y'all. That's what he gave y'all. That's literally what he told y'all. Okay? So
Wow.
Now think about it. If you let your name be in the magazine, right? After he just bought up the Black Manosphere out from under all of y'all, what do you think would happen within 6 months of your name appearing frequently in that magazine? He would find a way to extend his trademark to include your name. I am so positive of that fact.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I realized that you can do that. So,
Okay.
right. So now these names are associated with the Black Manosphere. Well, he's trademarked the Black Manosphere, so he could trademark your name. You didn't trademark your name, did you? Oh, you didn't think you had to? No. Does common decency would tell you maybe you don't have to, but hey, buddy decided he could trademark a whole space, right? And he's doing it in a clever way, because you can't actually trademark like cyberspace, right? You can't. So what he's done is he's attached the name to something tangible and trademarked that, and then he's trademarked anything to do with tangible print copies or anything like that with the name Black Manosphere. Okay, so then he could easily do the same thing as far as your name in print in a magazine, your name in print in books and this and that, whatever, because they are all affiliated with the Black Manosphere magazine. It wouldn't be that much of a logical leap for him to then be able to prove it, because it's been being printed in his magazine for 6 months, however long, and there's approval. He'll be able to prove approval from y'all that you've signed this over to him, because he's crafty and slick and oily, right? And then there you go. Now you don't even own your own name, so you can't even benefit off of your own name as a brand, no matter how long you've worked and no matter how hard you've worked for your own name. Because remember, we think, well, this is me, this is my identity. Well, it's not your literal legal name, is it? Right? No, for most of us, it's not. And that's a brand. That's why, like, Hulk Hogan, The Undertaker, all these wrestling people, they want to leave their association. They can't take their name with them, even though it's their name. Yeah, no.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Right? Because the WWF, right, owns you. Right? It's like, no, you don't own me. I can go anywhere. You can, but you just can't take Hulk Hogan with you. Right? Or the artist formerly known as Prince. Because you can't take Prince with you.
And what are the odds that, this gentleman, this person, that he didn't know this?
Oh, no, there's absolutely zero odds. He absolutely knew all of that. He sat there and told all of them that he knew that. And then pretended he was doing something to help people again, right? Because he's trying to help the stupid, lost, blind Black man, because they're just too stupid, lost, and blind and sleeping without him, right? So he's going to do you the same favor that corporate conglomerates have been doing us for, decades, centuries, and he's going to own all of your stuff and then run it, manage it, and profit off of it while you don't, right, to help you. Because otherwise, the white man might be able to do it.
That's really hilarious, to help you.
Right, to help you, right? Yeah.
Right, yeah, definitely.
Don't forget that part, to help you.
And I'm wondering, because I don't have an answer yet, I'm wondering if the gentleman is getting free copies, since it's supposed to be free. I'm wondering if he's getting a free copy. I don't know if there's a way to do that through Amazon.
Well, I downloaded it for free. So I had to see it. So it was free when I downloaded it. But here's the kicker, right? And y'all, if you went there and you were like, I don't know how to not get caught up in the mess, and it's saying it's free now, but I'm scared of that, so I'm going to look at the free preview. Don't do that one. And I'm going to explain why, because people don't read. So if you just download the magazine for free, there's no strings attached to that. You've bought the magazine for free. It's yours. But if you do the free preview version, okay, you get a free preview for an amount of time. I can't remember how long it was. It might have been 2 weeks. It might have been 30 days. After the 30 days, if you don't cancel your subscription, they will charge you $9.99 a month.
Okay.
For the free magazine. That would have been free for you to buy. I swear to God. Yeah, I have screenshots of it. Yep, no, that's really... Yep. So you could buy the magazine for free. You could also preview it for free. But if you preview it for free, it will bill you after 2 weeks or 30 days, however long the trial period is. It will bill you $9.99.
And what do you get for that $9.99?
The same magazine you got for free. Swear to God.
Reoccurring charges?
Yes. Monthly. They'll keep billing you $9.99 until you cancel your subscription.
That doesn't sound correct.
Wow. Is it monthly, the magazine, or how is the publication? Because that was never mentioned.
I feel like he said quarterly or something along those lines. Like, it wasn't going to be a month. It was going to be, I think this is the thing. I think he was trying to act like this wasn't quite as planned out to be a moneymaker as it was. So he's trying to act like, well, I don't know, and maybe this, and I don't know. But from what I remember him saying, I believe he said quarterly. So I think that was his intention, is to do like a quarterly health checkup of how Black men have grown. and so you issue a report card every 2-3 months or whatever.
Oh.
So
There is a report card in there. Yes.
with this magazine, okay. So
Hmm.
there's are there writers and editors, and do they expect any contribution from the individuals named on the magazine who did not give their consent to begin with?
I'll answer what I was the information I got in the letter.
Hmm.
Um, in the letter, it was a list of people, two women listed as writers and editors, and he had a concern about them. He said one that he was familiar with as a content creator, and another person he never heard of. Now, if there's any other writers, it wasn't listed in the letter. So that's my answer from the letter. And you can go ahead, Ruby.
Okay. So from what I've seen, it's this. It seems to me like he wrote the entire thing, and then the editors very poorly edited it because, again, a 5-letter name like Ramil is not super hard to double check. Especially for the editor slash editors that are already in the manosphere, so they know the name. Um, but fine, whatever. Like missing the M is rail. It says rail. The fact that this brother, okay, this is how bad the editors are. So he's on. I want y'all to understand this for those of y'all who missed the live stream. So he's on this live stream, right? And after they've had this argument for like hours, then he turns around and says to Ramil, "Your name's not even in the magazine, though, brother. So I'm not sure what you arguing about." And he's like, "Oh no, it is. It's absolutely in there." Right? "No, it's not, because I just got confirmation from my editors." And he's like, "Oh no, it's in there. It's just spelt wrong. It's spelled rail Amir. It's right there." Right? So even they had all like 2 hours of this argument, right? For them to look through all the names and go, "Oops, made a boo boo there. I see his name though." But even then, they didn't see anything wrong. Okay? That is the skill level of their editors. But anyway, it looks like what he's done is he's written the whole thing. There isn't really a lot of writing. It's a lot of advertising his various products, okay? Which is, the dick pills. We talked about that. And then he has his 10 life values or whatever the hell that's called. And that's pages of the magazine. And then there's a report card that basically tells black men that they are failing or near failing in everything. That's basically what I saw. So there's no like articles on, like, the only articles that there are there to help people make any form of changes is his 10 life values, which is the product that he is selling at his 2 universities. It's the product that he is selling no matter what he's doing. Everything that is attached to him is attached to these 10 life values, which is why you hear the content creators attached to him now talking about the 10 life values, and you hear the editors who have been interviewed talking about the 10 life values, and it's on everything. 10 life values. That is even on the dick pills website. 10 life values.
So
that is the thing.
Are they talking about the dingling pills too?
They don't talk about it. It's more advertising, like, pages and pages of advertising. You're holding up the bottle and, just really corny, cheesy type advertising.
Well,
yeah.
To me, the whole thing sounds shady. It sounds like, that this person, they're using this as a way to advertise and get traffic to the products that they personally have, come up with themselves. Yep. And so they're using these popular names within this certain sector of YouTube. And these people, they have their own, platforms, and they've made their name in this particular, sector of YouTube manosphere. They've made their name. So if their name is in this magazine and this person is also advertising his own personal, items, the dingling pills and the 10 steps or whatever, then it's really, helping him. I don't see how it's helping anyone else.
Yeah, that's literally what it is. Yes,
at this
absolutely.
Point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I'm not gonna, because I don't want to give nothing away of this content creator, But there are some content creators that do offer some things. So if you're helping, truly helping the brothers, or wouldn't you get them involved as far as their product? I mean, would that help out?
Right, because I'm sure each of the people, they each individually have their own thing. Not every, it's not cookie cutter. A lot of their talking points are cookie cutter, but if you go to their channels, a lot of them, the way that they run their channels, they all have a different spin on how they do things, and they all have their own type of side thing. Everybody has a side thing. The YouTube is, like, okay, the entry level, the entryway into this, but they all, have their own personal things, and it would have been nice to get their permission to be put in this magazine. And then that way they could also advertise and, showcase some of the personal things that they're working on in addition to their, channel.
Mm-hmm. It would have been nice, but they don't really care. And that's the thing. Doctor. I mean, I use that term very loosely. Same way I would use it towards Dr. Phil. But Dr. Holman, right, aka Father's Time, is really about himself, and he's a very good hustler. And I don't care who hears me say that. Y'all know I don't speak about people. I don't. So if I am sitting here right now on this panel saying that, understand, please believe and understand that I have done a lot of research into this man specifically for me to very confidently say he does not care about the Black manosphere. He does not care about Black people. He does not care about the growth and wellness of this space or any space. He doesn't care. He cares about him. And he's trying to sell anything. Honestly, anything. I'm going to be real. He's going to sell anything. And he doesn't care. When one thing doesn't work, on to the next thing. When one hustle is, run up, on to the next thing. He's just banging it out from what I can see. Hustle after hustle after hustle. I'm going to read what this ad says, okay? So the very first page in the magazine after you open it, okay? So it says, the mayor, okay? Mayor Williams says, I support, I don't know who Mayor Williams is. Maybe you guys would recognize him. He's a Black mayor. I support improving the overall health of Black men with this all-natural male dietary solution. I take A-Game every 3 days. It's a powerful blend of 21 herbs that supports my entire body. It increases my vitality, energy, strength, and libido, as well as improves my blood flow. Bring your A-Game!
Blood flow.
Yep.
Yeah, that's just concentrating on the penis. That's it. Because there's a lot of things that we as Black people, we need help on. And I hear it so often. With the drugstore that we have in the city of Chicago, Walgreens, I could just really go as far as the state. There are so many. It's because at first I used to look like, why is like every 6 blocks or every mile there is a Walgreens? Why is that? And all of the when you go back near the pharmacy, it's always busy. I'm like, what is that? So when I started getting older, I started realizing a lot of these people are having problems with diabetes or blood pressure. So they're constantly there to get medication. And so that's something that we need some help in. If anything, not just, and your person, can do what they want, but it's definitely just for sexual gratification. That's all the pills are advertised as, penis pills. That's it. You can throw in the rest of the stuff, the bells and whistles, but it's all about, being able to keep an erection. That's all.
And see, for me, it's like if I'm going to endorse a product, for me, I personally have to believe in it, and I would not want to just focus on the dingling pills. I would want to focus on the overall health of the individual, because diabetes and blood pressure do play a part in the health of your penis, shall I say. And so I wouldn't want to just say, hey, who cares whatever else is wrong with you? If your penis is not working right, try these pills and it'll perk up and you'll be able to get, that feeling that you want. I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that. I'd want the person to be healthy. I'd be like, have you seen your doctor? Have you had your blood sugar checked? I mean, is everything okay with the blood pressure? That's me personally. So I wouldn't want my name on something like that saying, I think it's okay to just go ahead and take these pills and you haven't checked anything else off in the box.
Anything.
Yeah, you got
It,
to be careful with that because even people that have sinus issues and what's the other thing, like allergies and stuff, certain things they'll tell you real quick, oh, I can't take that. I have high blood pressure.
mhm.
So, what's the possibility of taking this? It's always a supplement. This supplement with all these magical things in it, and everything will be fine. You get your erection, and you also get everything else taken care of as well. I just don't find that believable.
Right. Now, I'm going to tell y'all a couple things because remember we're asking what's inside of this, right?
Uh
And
huh.
what's its purposes. So I'm going to tell you what the magazine says. Now, first I'm going to tell you what it says next to the copyright 2021 at the bottom. This is the page that kind of gives you the it's like the table of contents for lack of a better word. So it's page number 3. Okay? Now, again, you want to know what he's doing with people's names. Okay, so after he writes about how, you can't reproduce this, blah, 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 and he gives the address to Black Star University, which is actually um, a postal office in in
A
Murrieta,
university?
California. Yeah, Black Star University is the address to Black Star University because I Googled it. Well, I didn't Google it. I Google Maps it, right? And I went and checked to be sure, and it's a postal office. But yeah, so that's who technically owns or this magazine, and the trademark and everything is Black Star University, and who owns that? Spencer Holman. Now, he says, Angry Man, a pioneer in black male YouTube space 2.0, was the first to coin the phrase the Black Manosphere. The Black Manosphere, the 10 life value system, XLV, and A Game are trademarked under Black Star University and created by or the property of Dr. Spencer Holman. The black
Oh.
male image is proudly, positively portrayed throughout this publication. Photographs are copyrighted by Pexels.com. Okay. Now, I'm going to guess if I look that up, he probably owns that too. But now, so y'all heard that. So now he's mixing the Black Manosphere, the 10 life value systems, XLV, and A Game are trademarked under Black Star University. He's trying to make these three things synonymous. Okay. So now let's read. So first, it lists publisher and editor in chief, Dr. Spencer Holman. Writers and editors. There's 2 of them. They are both female. So for those people who were concerned about the women and the kind of influence women have, well, why are there 2 women writers and editors and there's no male writers or editors? Kind of strange, but that's Dr. Michelle Knights and Kendra Davis. Okay. Contributors. I'm not sure how they could have contributed because, like I said, there's not much. The only thing they could have contributed are the different terms because there is a glossary of terms. When he said that he was making a glossary of common terms that are used throughout the manosphere, that
Uh-huh.
is there. So maybe that's what they contributed to. But anyway, there's Tracy Brown. Anyone know who she is? I don't. Okay. The Bishop, The Book of Ronan, Ebo Sosa, Young Manhood Channel, Tanya Shelton, don't know who she is either. Sherry Peel Jackson, I know who she is. That's because I looked her up. Now, this is designed by Scoob Publishing. Now, thank you for supporting Black men and the issues we face. The purpose of the Black Manosphere TM magazine annual edition, so I guess that's once a year now, even though I swear if we run the playback, he said quarterly, but fine. Annual edition is to provide a core glossary of frequently used terms in the Black Manosphere online community. It also serves to help Black men understand, address, and overcome systemic issues which have plagued them for decades. This edition features 10 major life issues Black men encounter on a daily basis. 1. Lack of Black male agency. 2. Poor health conditions. 3. High incarceration rates. 4. Chronic homelessness. 5. chronic joblessness. 6. Chronic fatherlessness. 7. Poor educational support. 8. Negative media portrayal. 9. Persistent barriers to wealth. And 10. Constant threat of extinction. Solutions are offered through the teaching and implementation of the 10 life values to help black men solve their problems with the help of other black men.
Okay, let me stop right there because
Oh, that's it.
that, oh, okay. That sounds like that's the answer to
Yes.
everything. You don't need the black manosphere if you can get it right there. That's what, what you just said. The way it's advertised, like, come here, listen to these 10 values. This is the answer to everything. That's what it sounds like.
Th- th-
Um,
That's what he said.
what number? I'm trying to see what number you mentioned. I forgot. But anyway, also in the letter, this guy mentions that um, the magazine is going to be in a church, and that is very interesting because a lot of content, you know, talking about pumping and dumping and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, how is that type of, you know,
Yeah.
going
Subject
to,
matter. Hmm.
yeah, how does that subject matter really going to go over in the church? And what kind of church? Because there's a lot of church that really don't have any religion. It's just, they're just pretending. So I don't know
Hmm.
what type of church that would be in. That's very interesting. So the church, you're advertising penis pills, these 10 values, which I don't know who teaches. I don't know.
He
And
does.
then,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah. Through
okay,
Black Star University. It's his. He created the 10. Black Star University teaches people the 10 life values. Yeah, it's his.
okay,
Yep.
uh,
Hmm.
okay, um, okay,
Yep. I know.
Mm, yeah.
It just
yeah,
it just stops you dead in your tracks when you start putting. When I said I know he's a snake oil salesman, here, you know why the church thing doesn't surprise me? Because of his 4 doctorates he claims he has, only one of them is not honorary, and the one that's not honorary is what? Okay, I'm gonna help y'all guess. What is the number one most just snakish snake oil salesman that we have in the black community? The pastor, right? We all know that. Okay, prosperity gospel is just bankrupting us and just demolishing families and whatever. And what is his one real doctorate in?
pastor,
Theology.
Theology.
Right. He's a
at the
whole damn
pastor,
pastor.
at the
Right.
pastor, hey pastor.
Right. Now, y'all can say, well, hey, come on, honorary degrees aren't nothing, right? I mean, universities don't just give you honorary degrees for nothing. Well, that's true. But here's the thing, if you first create a university that you own by your own name, and then you issue yourself the honorary degree, does it really count?
I don't think so. I think honorary degrees are not. They're they're not real. It's
They're,
just it's just basically honoring you as someone and just saying, hey, we're going to give you this honorary degree. I mean, you haven't written a research paper, you haven't taken an exam, you haven't studied for anything. You have the degree. Boom.
yeah. And here's the thing, if Harvard gave you an honorary degree, though, you'd be like, okay, Harvard is recognizing your excellence in some area, your work in some area, and okay, I can kind of respect that, right? But what is Black Star University? It's a university that is owned by Dr. Spencer Holman. Dr. Spencer Holman cannot then give himself an honorary degree and claim it's legitimate,
Well,
right?
he's helping himself. So if anybody gonna give somebody a degree, it'd be yourself, right?
I mean, I guess so, right? But like, if I announce that I am the most beautiful person in the world because I said so, does it make it true, right? And then the thing is, though, is that just the year before he created this university, he created a whole different university and then gave himself an honorary degree from that university.
How
So,
convenient.
Oh,
yes.
oh my goodness. So, oh wow.
Yeah, I
Yes.
just think honorary degrees are very. I just think that they're just like a gift. I mean, I have 2 degrees, and those degrees took work.
Yes.
I would have appreciated an honorary degree, but no, I had to actually work for those degrees. So it was like, okay. So when people say, or they talk about honorary degrees, it's like, okay, well, what did you have to do to get this?
Right.
Where was
Right.
the struggle at?
Right? And so,
Wow.
like, I don't understand. Like, if you invent one university in 2018 and then you invent a second university in 2019, when did you have time to legitimately earn 2 completely different doctorates from those universities in the last 3 years? It takes 3-4 years to earn a doctorate.
And
Isn't
that's
that
a
longer than
research
that?
degree.
Now, how y'all
Uh-oh.
doing? And I had to step in here, sort of, what I'm saying, the Archbishop Pimp Greasy Passer. What about these black mamas? I got a good evening to all in the congregation and the
Yes,
community.
Pastor, yes.
Good evening.
Good evening to everyone on the panel, and I would like to explain to y'all. Y'all are trying to use man's thinking with God's thinking. See, you don't understand. Just like Mary was a single mama and raised Jesus.
Oh, he's preaching.
How can not a man called by God not be able to get a doctor's degree in 2 different locations? God is omniscient and all powerful. So when the doctor decided that he was called by God, what could man hold against him? Can I get an amen from the church?
Amen. Hallelujah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. You remember, church and state is separate, different regulations. See, schooling, when it's not in religion and theology, does not hold a candle to the belief of those of God. See, this is, these are 10 life principles, like the 10 commandments. But the 10 commandments are more direct.
I didn't even catch the correlation. Okay.
I
didn't catch it. Okay.
Exactly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he basically.
Okay.
There you go.
I'm all extra late.
Extra second.
Right. I'm all wrapped up into the details of the letter. I didn't even think about that part. Okay.
See, that's because you don't have faith.
Oh, okay.
Understand? You gotta have faith and common sense of a mustard seed. Ha! Don't understand. This is the 10 life principles. He's gonna take you out of Egypt and bring you to the promised land. Exactly.
But what about them penis pills?
Well,
is it gonna make me right?
Well,
is it gonna make me stay out all night?
Don't do it. Don't do it with those dingling pills. I'm telling you. Get your health right.
No. See, the problem is that we're going into it. Is here's the issue, right? See, the church. See, the church that this Dr. Bishop Pastor of What About My Erection is doing. See, I'm about what about these black mamas. See, the problem is with my congregation, they don't have the problem of getting it up. Obviously, they had kids. See, their problem is taking responsibility for what they made. See, his church is about getting it. You see, they got a problem with getting it. We don't got a problem with getting it. We just got a problem with paying the cost of after we got it.
Okay.
See,
all right.
See, my church. See, we was going to have a revival, and I wanted Sister Vonda to come in to tell the women the reason why you are like the way you are is you didn't wait 6 months. See, we got to have Sister Vaughn come in and let them know. You know what I'm saying? This is the why you crying about these men are dusty. Because you didn't let them wait 6 months, not even 30 days, not even some of y'all didn't even let them leave the club. Yo, it's in the bathroom.
Ooh, no.
Busting it wide open. But anyway. But see, the problem is that his congregation, his denomination, you know, of we just want to smell the draw. See, that's his denomination, right? Like, you know what I mean? So I can just tell you from what I see on the outside that what he was doing over there, see, the penis pills are like prayer oil, right? You pray over it, right? You put it on yourself, but you actually don't use it to cook. Use Crisco, right? See, with them, you get the penis pills, but you never be able to use it because if you use it and the woman's not around, you just hard for no reason.
Oh gosh, dangerous. That sounds dangerous.
You know what I mean? Because them 10 commandments has nothing to do with you getting any women, and that's why the people going to the church. People want to subscribe to the church, and you know, and I looked at it, I'm like, okay, well, this church didn't work, and this church didn't work, and this church didn't work. Maybe your doctrine ain't on pimping. If you had the 10 life principles of getting some coochie, oh man, they be throwing you thousands of dollars. You know, unless you know what I mean, that penis pill come with a 6-pack of coochie, it's not going to do you nothing.
That's true. I mean, well, how about some, you know, how to communicate better with people, because you walking around with a hard ding-a-ling, that's not going to necessarily get you the release you're looking for.
No, it's going to get you the release, but it's going to get somebody else a release. I like you and I want you. Oh. That's going to be indecent exposure. You're going to be locked up.
Oh, no.
Like, you going to walk around, you just walking around the gym with a hard penis. Just walking around little kids all day, hard penis. Just I popped this 8-gang pill and it got me 20 to life when he threw it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But you know who did take it? You know who took that 8-gang pill? And you can tell that it worked. Brother Polite. Let's give it up for Brother Polite.
Where's your wonk?
Right?
Shout out to Brother Polite. You know, they like him young now. They like him young. You know what I'm saying?
Not that young. Jeez.
Yeah, Jesus, yeah. The mama wasn't good enough. You gonna for everybody. It's terrible, but honorary degrees are only honorary during how much you give to the church. That's it. That's it. See, Bill Cosby had an honorary degree, and he went to jail, and he took it right back, but they didn't refund his money.
Ain't that the truth? There was no receipt for that.
There's no receipt. Matter of fact, most presidents have honorary degrees.
But except he didn't have to pay no money because it's his university. So all he had to do is sign the paper.
Yeah. The power invested in myself, I now make myself a doctor.
Right. Incredible. Hey, you know, Char, if you could open this link, because I'm on my phone right now, and I put it in the private chat there. I want y'all to see something. I want y'all to understand why he calls himself Father Time, okay? Because this man has been, when I said he's been running hustles, he's been running hustles. Okay, and he's been running the same damn hustle with his little theology doctorate, okay, for a long time. Because he understands the way Black church works. And he understands that it is the best way to control and manipulate legions of Black people. Okay? And so that's what he's been doing. He's been selling lies to people, okay, for over a decade. Over a decade. And I'm telling y'all, if he doesn't come back with this application that he started with back in 2008, I would die of shock, because he's trying to still sell y'all pieces of land in Costa Rica. And if you want to buy that land, I've got a bridge to sell you. Come contact me after the show. Now, y'all look at this. Father's Time promises no more deadbeat dads in the United States.
2008. Oh,
2008, sister. 2008. Okay. So now I want y'all to realize something. First of all, it looks like a news article. It is, but it's actually an ad. It's an ad. Look at
a
the
paid
source.
ad.
Yep. Look at the source. The source says source Father's Time. He submitted an ad to this newspaper and paid them to run it. It's not a news article. And the same thing with the press releases from the Manosphere magazine. It's not a news article. You didn't get anyone to buy into this bullshit. Now what this is, software developer. Okay, so now he's a software developer. Remember, he's got a degree in theology and a bunch of other stuff. None of it is software development. But apparently he's a software developer, and he's created the easiest way to manage fatherhood for any demographic. Because apparently now we can manage fatherhood with an app. It's so simple.
Oh,
God.
wow.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know, I gotta ask, because I don't know if you read it or not. How do you do that? Does
Oh.
it say?
It should. I'm like, it's right there, Shaw. You don't see it after get your pull-out game better. It's right there. I think line number 2.
So this is what it says, okay? So there's something called level, okay? I'm going to guess that was the original name of the 10 life values. I might be wrong. I'll show y'all at the end of the article why I'm not once we get there, okay? But basically what he says is this. The mobile version incorporates scheduling, chatting, educational materials, and communication applications into a readily available application. Okay? It makes managing fatherhood easier, ultimately strengthening the bonds and relationships that tie kids to their dads.
Wait a minute. That's called texting.
That's what I thought, right? You got a calendar in your phone. You could put things in there to plan. Like, it doesn't make any sense, right? And now he says it's already used by numerous organizations and state agencies.
Yeah, it's called iMessage. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, WhatsApp,
Right?
WeChat. Like, what are you talking about? It's like, let me check my app. Oh, Billy needs to go to baseball practice. It's my weekend to pick up my child. Huh.
Right.
Do you not want to go to your paycheck and have $300 missing for back child support? Use this app today to keep you off of child support.
Wow.
That's what and I'm telling y'all, if you look at the very end of the article, right? Like, go to the bottom of the page, because I want y'all to see something, okay? So it looks like, oh, well, maybe this is legit, though. There's contact information. There's a website, right? Okay. So it must exist somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Char, if you clicked on the link, will it show us where it goes to? I just want y'all to see where it goes. Let's click on it. Oh, look, Black Star University! Shocking! Wait a minute. I thought that we were clicking on the link for Father's Time. I thought Father's Time was the thing. No, it's Black Star University now? Oh, is that why Ruby thinks that level was the exact same thing as the 10 life values? Oh, could that be why?
Oh,
yeah.
my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah. For the record, the university doesn't teach any of the things he gave himself an honorary degree in, right? It teaches you how to master the 10 life values. Like, I swear to God, that's what it says.
Wow.
Okay, you know what?
I
it's
see
a university.
see, here's the problem, and I'm gonna speak frankly.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a problem with he doesn't know how to finagle religion correctly. At least we got 66 books to go into. Like, we got 66 books to use. This has been centuries building on finagling and getting money. And here's the other thing: if the good doctor's listening, you gotta have women that don't look like that promoting your brand. No one's going to listen. No one is going to listen. If I was to come to your church as a man, and I just see that one woman sitting in the front row, that I'm leaving.
Praise
I'm gone.
break.
I'm gone.
Praise break after that one.
I'm going. I'm sorry, because I'm gonna look like you got the devil in your house. You need to get some exorcism in here. The spirit of Christ compels you. No, Lord, there's nothing. Listen. The 10 life values is no different than the 10 commandments. If you didn't find as direct as the 10 commandments for you to run your life, this other stuff is just is anecdotal nonsense. You could have used the 10 universal laws and got better stuff, and it's free online. Just Google search it.
He's preaching over here, y'all.
I mean, even like, listen, how old is Spencer Holman? Does anyone know? I think we guessed at some point.
54.
He's 54. Okay, so on this page for the xlvsystems.com, okay, that's the 10 life values. Okay, xlv10lifevalues.com. The 10 life values. I'm just gonna tell you the first thing it says. Right, examination of your life. Several exclamation points. Founded over 30 years ago by Dr. Spencer Holman. Okay, so over 30 years ago. Over 30 years ago.
In the 1990s?
When he was under 24 years old, he founded the 10 life values before he had even had a master's degree in anything, theology or otherwise, because he was only 23, 24. Also, though, I want to be clear that apparently he's a Marine. So he had time to be in the Army, get several degrees, found the 10 life values, and develop Father's Time, and sell that to a whole bunch of institutions, and develop this whole thing in Costa Rica where they're basically building another Black America. Okay. And what's your problem?
No.
And found 2 universities. Sorry, I forgot. He also founded 2 universities.
He sounds like an amazing man. That right? I'm sorry. He sounds amazing on paper.
Sorry. Wait, I forgot to put in there that he also came up with this 21 herbs and whatever blend to make men specifically, right? But we're not going to call them dick pills, but just to make men feel more vitality and life and productivity and help them follow the 10 life values better.
A chemist too? Wow.
He's an everything. He is an everything. Okay?
He's amazing. He is amazing.
Right?
Who want your name on this magazine? Damn it, your name on this magazine. There's a lot going on.
Wow.
Now, because when I read the website, I'm glad that you said it, the 10 LV, right? The XLV, the 10 life values. But the way I read it, being as educated as the Archbishop is, I'm reading Roman numerals. So I'm trying to figure out.
Excellent.
You know what I mean? Because X is 10, L is 50, and V is 5. So I'm like, is this the King James version? What are we talking about here? Like, I was like, what is this? I don't know.
Right.
But if he was a Marine, do you know there are 10 general orders of the century?
Wow, lots of 10s.
There's lots of 10s, but it's actually 11 because he's fucking stupid.
Bro. Well, here's the problem, right? And I'm just going to be honest with y'all. Black people are worse at this, but generally these days, people don't read, okay? People don't read.
Those people.
And we know people don't read because nobody is talking about this. You know why? Because people are too lazy to Google things and click on things and read. Okay? And that is my major concern with this. Because, listen, anybody who touches this man and what he is doing with a 10-foot pole is going to get burned. He's going to get burned. Everything is a hustle. Y'all keep asking, who are these editors? I want y'all to look up Dr. Michelle and do your own research. That's all I'm going to say. I want y'all to look her up. I want y'all to look up Dr. Sherry Peel. I want y'all to look up her doctorate. I want y'all to look her up. I want y'all to wonder whether you should be taking any form of financial advice, let alone letting that woman do your taxes when she is not legally allowed to do so. I want y'all to ask yourselves if the people that are listed as the main faces of this magazine and of his team are people that you trust at all. And I'm going to guess the answer is no. I'm going to guess he knows the answer is no, which is why he did not reach out to nobody else, right? Because he understands, and I'm going to be honest with y'all, no disrespect at all, okay? I'm not trying to be rude here. I'm going to tell y'all something. He recognizes something that a lot of people recognize, which is that for all y'all want to say women are emotional and men are logical, there's a lot of emotional ass people in this sector, okay? And what happens is he knew y'all would get triggered and focus over here on the red herring, and you won't focus on what you need to focus on. So he knew everyone's gonna get mad about having your name used and da 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 da. So you're gonna be busy fighting that. He takes out your name, you forget all about it. He took the brand, the Black Manosphere, the thing you have all attached yourselves to, and he bought it. And then he attached it to the 10 life values. Why am I talking about the 10 life values? Because the thing that you guys are now all under, the manosphere, the Black Manosphere, is attached to the 10 life values, which is attached to clearly several really shady ass looking hustles that this man has created. How will that impact you later? That's what I'm looking at. And I don't see it impacting the Black Manosphere well. I was going to keep it all the way. I don't see it impacting the Black Manosphere well.
You know, I sat up here and while you were saying, because you know the Reverend, the Reverend here, we you know, the Archbishop, my crack team of women's right here, they went and looked something up here while the Sister Ruby was talking, and I looked at the 10 most important values. And compared them to the 10 life values.
Oh,
really similar. Number one is health and energy. Let me put this here so Shark can bring that up on screen, so
all right,
everybody we can bring that up on screen, and you know, so put that up there. Gave that you know, we put that in the back chat for Shark, and
let me put that share. And then no audio, correct?
No audio.
Okay.
You just scroll past the YouTube video. They even got a YouTube video. Looks very nice.
All right.
So health and energy. Sounds like them dick bills. Love, gratitude and appreciation, kindness and compassion, integrity. A lot of y'all lack that integrity. Giving, growth, peace, family, friendship, and connections. The community. And happiness. Sounds pretty similar to me.
Yeah, it does.
And if you look at the top page, right? You know, this is in some French there. You know, so if it's in French or some European language, it's official because the white man ice is colder. So.
But I don't see anything being shared. Do y'all see this?
I'm not sharing. My bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I apologize.
There we go.
I'll go back to scrolling again. I'm sorry.
So the top part is man is marketed consultant.
Oh, go back. Okay.
At the top, if you look at that, so the top 10 most important values. Now, this was published in November 7th, 2019.
Oh, and what was the date you said for the university 2018
University one
or
was
19 or
2018, and University two was 2019.
okay.
2019.
Okay.
And if you notice that the first university website looked like
Mm.
some fly by night 1595, we taking your social security number.
It really
This
did, yeah.
this
Oh.
looks almost the same, right? This looks official. It makes you want to consign to it, right?
This
You got an
might be the
email,
most important value.
Mhm.
important, right? And if I go down here, there's a whole bunch of archives. August 2018, September 2018.
Mm.
Really, all the way up here, archives, and then they have a mailing list, and this is consulting and skills and everything. It's beautiful. And then you have something else
Mm.
called what are your personal values? 39 core values, right? 39.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
it's from psychologytoday.com.
Mm.
Wow.
Psychologytoday.com. And it lists 39. I'm like, this theology is based in psychology.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
It's psychology. Everything, if you listen to it, it's a whole bunch of, if you actually read, you can't read it because there's no substance of what you're hearing. It's just echoing the things that you already know you just failed to do.
Mhm.
Wow.
Okay.
You would be
So
better off reading Shakespeare.
it's all just common sense.
It's all
Yeah.
just common
Mm.
sense.
Mhm.
If you really think about it, if and I'm just being frank with you, it's just easy. It's like how many people went to church and read the King James version?
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a lot of ye and thou and those and them and theirs, right? And you
Yes.
don't understand any of that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's written in old English. That's why they have a New World's translation. And it sounds totally different. But why?
Yeah. More
Because
modern. Yeah.
people can't understand thou and ye. I'm like, people don't even teach the writing cursive anymore in school.
Yeah. I was a little disappointed with
Mm.
that.
That I
With
was
that.
very
Mhm.
disappointed with that. I mean, extremely. That's terrible.
But
Ridiculous.
it's a reason why. Because if you write in cursive, you can understand original text in writing. If you can understand original text in writing, you can always push back on evidence from olden days. So if I modernize you without you knowing how to do it the old way, then you forget how to do it the old way, which is the original way of the originality of how we got to this modernization. Then you forget how to do anything else, and I can subvert you to do whatever I want.
Pretty much, yeah. Mhm.
Wow.
I mean, what people don't realize, right? Like, you think about all these sects of Christianity. Where'd they come from? Well, they came from Catholicism. What do I mean by that? Simple. People learned how to read. When people learned how to read, they could read the Bible themselves. Before that point in time, they relied on the bishop, right, to read to them. So the bishop would read the Bible to them, which means he could omit things as he wanted. He could skip over things as he wanted. He could bastardize things as he wanted.
Right.
When people were suddenly able to read in mass, they started disagreeing with the conclusions that the bishop was drawing, and
Right.
they had the ability to base it on actual factual parts of the text, and that's why they started creating all of these sects of Christianity, right? So
Uh-huh.
it's knowledge is power, right? When people say that, it's been illustrated in history time and time again. When you can decipher something for yourself, it makes a big difference to your understanding. I was talking about that, about the COVID research. We don't know how to read research ourselves. We don't even know how to identify it, let alone to read it and understand it. So when someone says new research was done yesterday and here were the conclusions that were found, here's the link, no one's going to click on that link. And even if they do, they can't decipher it for themselves. So they have to trust the conclusions that you said. even if you outrightly lied or bastardized everything, because they don't know enough to challenge you. They don't know enough to disagree with what you said and say, hey, that's not what this said. That's not what this found. Right? And it's happening so much. So you have people referring to stuff they don't know and they don't understand because someone said it to them. They've never looked it up themselves. They've never read it themselves to have an actual understanding themselves, right? Like, they can't even evaluate when someone has a good argument against XYZ thing. You know why? Because they don't understand it. So they don't know if what you're arguing is a good point. They don't know. And we have way too much, like, we just accept this, right? When they want to take away teaching something to our kids, right? Like cursive, we just accept it. Oh, well, who cares? Because we don't really truly appreciate or understand the value of that knowledge and the connections that makes to other things in our lives, right? And this is how we get screwed over, right? In mass, this is how we get robbed. This is how we get, because they're relying on us to not know, and for us to be easily blinded, therefore, and for us to not look so hard, and for us to not really understand the fine print. That's what they're relying on, and they're hoping you buy into it.
And for the most part, that's what happens.
Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah. Let me see. It was something else in a letter that got me, and that was, I know it was near the end. Let me get the actual letter and see.
All right.
It would take 6 months or longer to contact everyone. Now that was I can't understand that at all, because if you know everyone and you support everyone and you've been here for a long time, how long does it take to click on their page and get their email address?
Email address, right?
Right.
The email. You could have sent out a mass, email to each person. They could have all been, CC'd in the email and said, hey, I'm so-and-so, big supporter of you guys. And, this is what I'm doing, and I'd like to add your name to the publication, so I'm just going to, need an email, or if you want to discuss it, or let's meet on this time, let's have a Zoom meeting, something, damn it. There's Zoom meetings. We work through Zoom meetings. So, they could have had a Zoom meeting and got it done.
Right, being a business person, if you didn't want to go through a content creator, and O'Shea has a large platform, and it was said that he, like, again, a supporter to everyone, including O'Shea, and I heard that O'Shea didn't know him, so that's, so I'm like, okay, this is weird. So that would explain why he didn't ask O'Shea. That'd have been great. But go ahead.
I will say this, because I was watching when I was on vacation. Revival convention with the sisters. When I was there and I was listening to it, he said something that everybody missed, and he actually said it directly to O'Shea. He said, "I was looking at the Negro Manosphere, but that was already copywritten." And when I checked the Black Manosphere, it wasn't. So I took that one.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my.
So basically it was what was available, and he might as well just, jump on it, is what he said.
He took, and because O'Shea copyright the Negro Manosphere.
Right.
Right.
For him.
And O'Shea's, so that says is, if you're a businessman and you're looking at something to take first, the Negro Manosphere is actually worth more than the Black Manosphere.
See, that's not how I took it. I took it to mean this, Dre. I'm going to be honest with you. When I heard him say that, I said, okay, so he's smart. So he knew that there's two things that currently exist. There's the Negro Manosphere, which is this magazine and whatever. And then there's the Black Manosphere. Well, there's already an existing magazine. Right now, if O'Shea wasn't smart enough to have trademarked it, he would have trademarked that also.
Yeah,
so that way he could own both magazines, right? Like, it wasn't a matter of it wasn't a matter of an either or maybe I just misunderstood you. He wanted both.
Yeah.
He just couldn't get it.
Yeah. But the first,
that's what you were saying. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, but his first pick was the Negro Manosphere. like, your first pick is the thing that you value the most, which has the most value. Right? So he was going for both, but he thought they both wasn't, like you said, Ruby. And the problem, everybody missed that. So he already said the intention of what he was doing. He already let you know that he was coming to take things from underneath your noses. Yes. And basically everything else was action. Now, why? Now, the question, the answer, this is my view on the question of the 6 months, why they took too long, right? He said he couldn't. He wasn't going to do it because he already said, if I could go back and do anything differently, I wouldn't do anything. I wouldn't. At all. Right. This is the reason. We know it takes 3 months for the trademark to go through. Then it takes a 30-day period for someone to dispute it. Now, he still had a 2-month window before he even talked about releasing the magazine, putting people's names in it, after he trademarked it, to ask everybody's permission. The reason he didn't do either and then came out with it is because why would he come out with it at the end of July, August? Because it's the end of hot girl summer and cuffing season is upon us. And you're gonna want to get it. You can smell it. It smells like baby powder. Yes, it does. It smells like cocoa butter. Yeah, it does. And we going in the fall, and you're seeing all these women walking. They all these single mamas, and they don't want you. They ain't been paying their rent, but obviously because they get them off of OnlyFans. They got stimulus checks. Old Biden came through. Old Uncle Joe done put these women in a polyamorous relationship with the government. And you still sitting back. So you need these 10 life values that's going to keep you from being a dusty, dirt-leg, dysfunctional Negro. Come on down. And you'll be able to use these dick pills for 3 easy payments at $33.33. But wait, there's more. We got 50% off. And if you listen to the sister with the issue of blood over here, she can fluff up your ego.
Yep. See, here's the thing. The reason why I know for sure, and that's why I told y'all, it was one of the very first things I objected to as well, right? Which is the 6 months. That's how long it would take. It would not take that long. And I'll explain why I know this.
Yeah, it definitely would not.
Right? No. Now, I'll explain. So, I am published in a few things. One of the things that I'm published in, like in my real life, right? Under my real name, I'm actually somebody, right? No, so one of the things I'm published in, though, is it's an anthology of stories, okay? Of people, in essence, who have parents in the LGBT community. Now, there's people from this country, right? From America, from other countries. England, we have a couple from England. Okay, this was hard fought. The 2 editors who did this, man, they went searching near and far, so that way they could have a really good, really decent, very full, hundreds and hundreds of pages anthology. So that way people like us, only the young ones coming up, can read it and be like, oh, you're not alone in the way you feel about stuff. Okay. So now we published the book, right? And it took them, to be fair, it took them a long time to find everybody, right? Because you have to search near and far. Like, it's not like people just advertising, hey, look for me. Hey, I have a parent with it. No, right? So it took them a long time to do that part. But once they had the list of us, okay, once the next thing that needed to happen, right? They wanted to do something else to expand on that. It took, I'm going to say 45 days in total for us to have our first group meeting. Now, the reason why it took that long was not to contact everyone, right? It took like a second to contact everyone because they just sent out a giant group email, right? and then gave us like a couple weeks for us to respond individually to them with our own grievances or issues or questions or whatever, right? And then we had 30 days to decide what we wanted to do with our individual piece of the project. Expanding going forward is basically going to be in video form. Then they went and got funding. Okay, and so they had to apply for the funding. We had to wait for the funding application to go through and whatever, and we had to apply for something else, some type of legalese crap, right? That all took 45 days. So that's why 45 days. And that was including getting funding, setting up all the legal aspects of it, talking to all the different people you need to talk to, talking to the and arranging stuff. Oh, it had to do with the publisher of the book and them signing off on it and whatever. Like, it was a whole bunch of stuff, and it took 45 days in total to do a billion things. And you're trying to say it would have taken you 6 months to contact, right? Arrange, speak to each person, talk about all their different grievances, work that stuff into the final plan, so on and so forth. I actually went and looked at it in my email, right? Because we get updates. It took 2 weeks. It took 2 weeks to, from the first email that was sent out to, okay, I've spoken to everybody. Here's the final plan. 2 weeks. So, and there's more people. There was more people in my project than there was on the Manosphere list. So, how would it have taken 6 months? It wouldn't have, right? Which, since it wouldn't have taken 6 months, then it tells you that he's lying, and it tells you that the reason why he didn't want to contact anyone is because it would have given us a chance to do all of the research that people like ourselves did, right? And invalidate him right out the gate. Right out the gate. He was hoping, like I said, we would just be too distracted by, and emotions and whatever, right? That no one would notice. Wait a minute. Forget our emotions for a second. Who the hell is this guy? Like, for real. Not like, who is he? He hasn't been in our space. No, who is he on the planet? Who is this guy?
Yeah.
Right? Because that is the more offensive question currently, right? The answer to that is more offensive than the fact that he hasn't been around, although that's problematic. Right? The fact that he chose a woman to really align himself with, right? I want y'all to understand why he chose a woman. Who do you sell all of these dysfunctional gospels to, right? Women. Who are they selling them to? Women, right? Yeah. It is so easy to sell women on the bullshit, right? That's why you don't see very many men and why they leave the church so frequently. Why? Because they see the bullshit for what it is, right? They're not buying into it. So you want to get rid of them. You want to only have the people there who are going to buy into the bullshit. And who buys into the bullshit? Women, especially single women, especially women who are not getting what they want out of life, especially women who are not top choice, right? As far as like women who are, the pick of the litter, right? When you're the pick of the litter, you don't got to buy into nothing about life. Right? You don't even have to buy into common sense stuff because you have pretty privilege. So therefore, he's marketing to her. And if he can brainwash her to believe that he ain't full of shit, just like he's done with other women, which is why his whole damn team is women. I want y'all to question that for a second. His whole team is women, but he very much cares about men and men's issues and about building up the community of men and men growing and men's problems. He cares so much about that, but his whole team is women. And to be clear, if you look up these women, okay, by and large, and I'm not kidding, look them up. Go download the magazine for free. You have the whole list of the editors and contributors there. Everyone you don't recognize because they're not a YouTuber, look that person up. I guarantee you what you're going to see is a lot of feminist propaganda mixed in with the 10 life values. Okay? Except for one of them, right? I'm not calling out names. One of them very recently, I'm not even kidding, it's like within the last year or two, very recently started pursuing a PhD. Want to guess what university she's doing that through? Pursuing a PhD that has something to do with men's rights and men's issues, because she just realized just now, 10 seconds ago, that she's been being brainwashed by feminism all this time. Like, when did this start? It started
Oh,
right around the time that the dick pills and Spencer Holman showed up in the manosphere. Just saying, like,
hey, there's three ways, as the Archbishop, as I shall say and be very frank with y'all. There's three ways for a woman to reverse course.
mm-hmm,
Okay,
mm-hmm.
if you're saying what she want to hear, if you're saying what she needs to hear, but if you're saying these things while the lights are off and she's making those ugly faces, let the church say amen. Let the church say amen.
Amen. Amen. Need a praise break? I think so.
See,
I
I
see
don't agree with that
160.
praise
It's
break.
weird.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with
Oh no,
that.
now I see
You can't
140. Like every
listen.
time I leave and come back, it changes dramatically.
Listen, I'm gonna say this. I don't agree with that praise break there, Sister Shaw, because no self-respecting man of God do a praise break in those shell-toed Adidas. You need the wingtips. At least, brother, come there with some Payless shoes on. Like at least, brother. Like you need the you know you'd have been better. You're better with the brother James Brown up there slide. See, you know what I'm saying? You gotta slide with it. The legs gotta move 100 miles an hour while your body is staying still, and then you gotta drop down. See, the brother that was in the front row that they didn't that he was in it. See, he
Oh,
was
okay.
praise breaking. See, he was
Oh,
being
okay.
cute up there. You can't be look at it. He's sitting up there with all of that lights and all that equipment up there talking about God in the hoodie and some skinny jeans and
Oh, it
yeah,
was weekday, Pastor. It was weekday.
no, we gotta come dressed to the nine. We have a we got we have to have Chelsea boots on every time we in front of our congregation. You can't come up there looking like that. You coming up there on the weekday looking like that. You gotta see Sundays is you got your robes on, and on the weekday you got your suit on because the parishioners need to know where their dollars going to. It can't be looking like you're actually doing something with the money for the church.
Ah,
Up there with you, like you about to go run track somewhere, like you about to go
ah.
work out in the gym. You know what I mean? Can't be coming in. How you gonna get in the pearly gates looking like you about to go to the strip club? The angels up there dropping it like it's hot on the pearly gates. No, these young folk that lost decency and decorum when it comes to the church. And he ain't even praise breaking right. He over there being cute with it. You know what I'm
Oh.
saying? See that brother in the front, he was praise breaking. God done touched him. You know why? Because that brother in the front was dancing like that because it got him some coochie. Yes, he got him some. I think that one up there. I think he was dancing like he had one. I don't know. I think he identified. He wasn't dancing. He did. Look how his legs all close together. When men do it, they gotta open them legs up. You can't be having them things hitting up against your leg all crunched up when you praise break it. That don't work like that. You gotta spread them hips. You gotta get that hip action. You know what I'm saying? See, it's just like dancing. Man can get in there and
Yeah.
groove and dance. Then the woman think, oh, okay, it's that thing. See, same thing in church. Praise breaking, you got to show up for the sisters. Wait a minute, that man could be in some slippery earls and a suit and dance like that and come back and have it together. Oh, yeah. God, because only God can do that. See, he's blessed by the Spirit. That man, he was blessed by another type of spirit. It's the fairy one. He wasn't doing it right.
You need to quit, Pastor, but that's all right. That is all right. I thank you for what you told us.
I'm sorry. I would like to just revise my original statement. So, how old did we say he is again?
54.
54. Okay, well, apparently the 10 life values were actually invented. I'm looking right here on xlvsystem.com. System, not systems this time, system.com. And it says the 10 life value system was founded over 30 years ago in 1984 by Dr. Spencer Holman. So that would make it 37 years old. So if he's 54, I said 24 minus 7, so he invented this when he's 17. 17.
Wow.
The only person I know that had a degree that was in theology at that age was Dr. Martin Luther King
and Doogie Howser. So help me out. He the next Doogie. We just missed it somehow. Like what the? I can't, y'all. Here's the thing, okay? I want y'all, and the reason why I'm telling y'all all of this, right? And again, because y'all know I don't regularly talk about people directly. If you notice, I'm not talking about the people he has attached himself to, right? If I am, it's in a very generalized way, because it's not my point is not to demonize them, because I think he is a snake oil salesman. He's very talented at what he does, and so as a result, he could sell snow to an Eskimo, right? Like he's one of those people. But y'all have to look at what he has done and what he's doing and realize that he is literally a whole house of lies. Like his first university, he's talking about the one founded in 2018, right? All of the chancellors and whatever, all of the people who are apparently, big time in the university, they're not actually connected to the university at all. I know, because I looked them all up. Some of them don't even live in the country.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So some of them don't live in the country. Some of them got their education in countries that would not be valid in America. So there's no way they could be university professors in America. Some of them have contact information that leads to churches in the Caribbean, even though they're not Caribbean, apparently. Because if you look them up on like LinkedIn or whatever, they're American citizens, they're Americans, whatever. But apparently, their contact information through the university leads you to a church in Jamaica. In fact, a lot of people's contact information leads you to the same church in Jamaica, which then leads me to believe that church in Jamaica doesn't actually exist. It's just like a front. There's a lot of shadiness in front, and what it comes down to is, right, like everyone did the right thing, I think, for the most part. I think most people pulled out of this. They're just like, nope, don't attach my name to this bullshit. I don't know what it is. I haven't seen it. Hell no. I don't even care if it's good. No. Right? I remember O'Shea basically saying that, like, I don't know. We might have all supported you had you done this the right way, but now that you haven't, we're never going to want any part of it. Period. It's just never going to happen. But here's my thing, and this is what it comes down to. I am worried about what's going to happen next. I'm going to be real. I'm very worried about what's going to happen next now. Just because, for a variety of things. It comes down to right now, guys, if he gets this magazine on the ground up and running, as Char said, it's basically saying that the Black manosphere can be boiled down to the 10 life values. And that's all you really need to learn. That's what it's saying.
Yeah. Now, I have this, I shared this with the author of the letter, and I told him, this is a guy, he did some research, and he can check this out. And this also will help him with his decision. I'm just going to play a little bit because we're going to end the stream maybe about 15 minutes or so. So I'm going to play a little bit, and I put the link in the chat room for you all, and you can check it out as well on your own time. So here we go. Make sure I got it up. Oh, okay.
Specialist. This time around, we're going to be discussing some recent YouTube developments, specifically the announcement of the launch of the Black Manosphere magazine. Now, while I don't consider myself to be a part of the Black Manosphere space, some of my followers are a part of that space, and they brought this news to my attention. Given the fact that I do talk about men's issues, specifically young men's issues, I believe that it all starts with the headline Dr. Spencer Holman to launch the Black Manosphere Magazine Special Edition 2021 Core Glossary and Report Card. The first paragraph of the article reads that Dr. Spencer Holman, the creator of the Black Star University, formerly Father's Time, has teamed up with creators Dr. Michelle Knights, Kendra Davis, Tracy Brown, The Bishop, The Book of Ronin, Ibo Sosa, Young Manhood Channel, Fit Feminine Over 40, and Sherry Peel Jackson of the YouTube online community The Black Manosphere, which is an online community created exclusively for black men, and this team up was in order to produce the Black Manosphere Magazine 2021 Core Glossary and Report Card. Now, there's a lot to unpack here, but I think that it's best that we start with the title because, in my opinion, there's a few interesting things to note there. The first thing that stands out is that the phrase the Black Manosphere is trademarked in the title of the article, and a quick search of US records would show that indeed the word mark, the Black Manosphere, is trademarked, and it was filed actually on May 11th, 2021 for goods and services, accountability and solutions to help men achieve excellence. The glossary was written for black men and those who support them, and it comprises of a list of over 100 words and concepts commonly used in the Black Manosphere. According to him, the magazine features the 10 major life issues black men encounter on a daily basis, which are: number 1, looking past all the marketing speak, what this says is that the 10 life value system is central to whatever him and his group's intentions are with the Black Manosphere trademark. And I think we should unpack that. After reading the article, it's pretty reasonable to think that this is a great initiative. A team that appears to be at least 50% women. In my opinion, this is antithetical to the idea of the space at best and a nefarious move at worst. Now, defenders will say that it's done for inclusion and balance, and to that I'd say it's a noble idea, sure, but a necessary one, no, and it's contradictory in the optics to say the least. Nonetheless, their inclusion could possibly be justified if the women have a track record of, say, helping black men or championing male empowerment or male rights. So that said, let's take a quick look at the track record of a few of the women involved.
Yes. So I'm saying, y'all,
let's start with Dr. Michelle Knights. She describes herself as an innovative thought leader, professor, strategist, transformational and peak performance coach, author, and international speaker. And I notice a lot of that flowery, self-flattering language. An immediate red flag. Anyways, she has a PhD in human development and family studies and has served as faculty at many universities, including Penn State. And off of her short description, we can tell that she's a lot of things, good things even. But you want to know what she's not? A male advocate in any form. She's actually explicitly for female empowerment. Interestingly, she's also the vice president and business development director for A-Game, which is a company selling herbal supplements for men. Coincidentally, also headed by
dick
Dr.
pills.
Holman.
Dick pills, y'all. Yeah. Definitely dick pills. That's I don't know if we really made that full connection of the name. The name of the dick pills is A-Game. That's what it is. So her name, I can't say she, and if y'all do some research, you'll understand why. But her name then is attached to the dick pills and the magazine, and that seems to be the only interest she has in men. Like, I just want them to improve their D game, right? Because it's weak. I'm tired of all these, semi-erect men. I need some better men because I'm about female empowerment. That's the number one editor other than Kendra Davis, right? Who's Crimson Cure, if y'all don't know. So you have Crimson Cure, who has been in the space speaking on men's issues and on men's rights and whatnot, right? And then a female empowerment chick. And that's who he justified making the main editors of the magazine. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Just pointing that one out.
Right. Yeah, that's something else. But I put it in the chat room so you guys can look at it at another time. Yeah, I don't know. That is, from what I've seen, this young man does have the right to question the validity of the man's intention, and everything was round the corner, up the hill, and hush hush, hearsay, just a lot.
Yep. Listen, I'm already got myself in trouble today. I don't normally pick fights with people, so I guess we're gonna see how that goes. Now, that being said, since I've picked the fight now, I have a challenge. If Dr. Michelle Knights, with an S at the end, okay, it's hard to Google. Make sure that you put like the quotation marks around it. Otherwise, it's going to keep pulling up some white woman. That's not her. There is a black woman named Dr. Michelle Knights, okay? Now, if she really and truly is the one who's on your board, speaking for y'all and whatever, what I want is a video to appear on her channel, which has been not used for 4 years, okay, of her face live speaking, saying yay A Game and yay the Black Manosphere magazine. Okay, I have heard a voice that doesn't sound like her voice from the videos on a podcast with Sherry Peel saying yay, yeah, blah blah blah. Okay, I've heard that. I've heard. But I'm just telling you, to me, the voice does not match up to the woman in the videos on the YouTube channel. So I want you to prove to me that that is really even her. I'm keeping all the way a buck. I don't know very many feminists, women's rights activists, women empowerment activists who make such a sharp turn and suddenly want to be about men's rights and men's rights advocacy, especially as black women, as though black women's issues have just disappeared overnight. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. And it looks shady as hell that the woman who did the podcast has no accent, has a completely different tone of voice, sounds like a completely different person. Whereas in the woman in the video sounds like she's from the Caribbean somewhere. So I would like you to prove to me that she even exists and even co-signs your mission. I would love, since they're your chancellors and whatever, for your 2 universities, you want to prove those are not just hustling, stealing people's money. I would love you to get those individuals, some of them of either university, to appear in a video, since you love advertising so much, advertising your stuff, live in video, talking about the university specifically. I would love you to prove that some of what you are doing is not completely fraudulent. I would love you to address what happened to Father's Time, the app or the mission. What happened to it? Because it used to exist. I want you to explain to us why it is that the headquarters for your university and the magazine and everything is some post office in California instead of an office building of some sort, even a little tiny rented out. No, you just gave everyone basically the address to a post office box, which doesn't really much sound to me like a functional university. I would like you to prove that you have ever supported anybody in the manosphere besides Kendra. Okay, we know you've supported her. By support, I'm sure you showed up to talk about your cause, and you sponsor her channel. That's cool. Good on you. But she's still a woman, so yeah, she might speak on men's issues, but she is a woman, right? If you support Kendra, if you support Jessica X, you support great, but those are women. So you're not actually supporting men directly. You're still supporting women who are saying something. It's different. And even the women who speak on men's rights and are pro men will say to you that no, I don't think that I should be answering for the whole manosphere and speaking on the whole manosphere and making decisions for the whole manosphere. They will say that. So I want you to prove that you have in any actual way legitimately contributed to the Negro manosphere. You said that you did. So you should have proof then of the donation from something, from PayPal, Cash App, something, right? You should have proof you've done these things. I just want you to do quick little, half an hour or so stream. You can sit there, you could show us these videos, you could show us these screenshots and this proof that these things actually happen. That's what I would like.
It's not gonna happen. Or in other words of In Vogue, never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never get it.
Yep, that's it.
And that was one thing that I did notice. I'm like, okay, it sounds to me like the on-hand supporters that he has are women, but this is manosphere. Now, if I was part of a woman's organization and I get to the woman's organization and the board or most of the people there are men, like, wait a minute, what is this? Where are the women at? I would just, it does not make any sense. I understand, men can support women can support the men, but if this is the manosphere, where's the manosphere that supports this? I would think that there would be more men supporters than women supporters.
You would think, right? And you would think that since his major concern here is about men, even though his life values don't really read that way, but whatever, then you would think at the very least that he would have for sure been giving men these opportunities, right? Opportunities to be an editor and attach themselves to things like that because you care so much about male development and male growth, right? And the male message, the male voice. You care so much about the male voice, and yet you do not have a single man's voice inside of this magazine talking about what men's concerns are, what men's issues are, what those men feel as far as what they feel they're failing at and why they feel you put nothing in there except your own bullshit, right? Oh, hey, how you doing? Good evening.
Greetings.
Peace.
Greetings, esteemed nobles. How are we?
All right.
Lady Char, Lady Ruby, Lady Vonda,
all right.
Sir Pastor Pimp Greasy, Archbishop of Niggatry himself.
Yes, sir. Great. We are all present.
That's where we are.
Yeah, I was about to end it, but go ahead. Give us 10 minutes. I know you have some insights you might have missed.
This proves one thing, right? And there's no way to illegitimize yourself than to not be able to stand by your own rhetoric, not being able to stand by your own literature, not even be able to stand by something that has been branded after your very image and likeness. So you can't stand behind it, which means you can't stand on it when it's on your own platform because you can't stand on it when someone else is trying to present it in a platform that is independent of yours.
Good point.
And see, that illegitimizes the entirety, really, of the manosphere. The manosphere doesn't want to put its name on anything that has manosphere on it. Why? Because we know that it's literally a dumpster fire over the side of a railroad track, waiting to feel that metal on metal friction as it compounds the train wreck that is impending, right? I mean, it's already happened. Who remembers the video I did back 2 years ago when I talked about how the white boys, they were going to become more professional, they were going to switch their message, and then they were going to leave the Negro manosphere, right, holding the bag so that they could become the face of anti-female hate speech.
I remember that.
Now, isn't it interesting? Just recently, I think it was on the 10th or the 11th, that the the supplementary amendments and articles to the VAWA, the Violence Against Women's Act, was just passed, and one of those articles was Title 15, which covers what? The digital media, cyber, any kind of cyber mediums. So you spewing this crap, anti-female hate speech, online, you can be prosecuted under VAWA. And all it takes is someone that is astute enough in law to go out their channels. So when we're saying, oh, they can't take us down, it's like, well, this policy says that they can.
Yeah.
And have every legal precedent to do so.
Yep.
Yeah, and they will do it. Because when I first came to this space in 2015, that was one of the things that was happening. Some women had a list because they got tired of what some of the guys were saying. And I think at that time that came into space, it wasn't as bad as it is now. Now it's really bad. So if they got a law passed, then they're really going to go after some of these guys. And it's going to be over with. They've been warned. So,
yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
And it's not just that they've been warned, it's that they've had countless opportunities to fix their rhetoric. They've had countless opportunity to autocorrect.
Yeah.
They're sitting here telling you this thing called the gynocracy is at fault. Well, if you look throughout history, the only times gynocracy has existed is when the men are conquered.
Okay.
See, that's when women of society have complete and ultimate rule over every aspect of your life in some kind of totalitarian control. It's only happened several times. I mean, it happened once in Russia, right after the fall of Nicholas I, who committed so many men to war that, I mean, like 50% of the men that he sent off to fight, the allied nations in North Africa really died. Right? And so what does that leave? That leaves a lopsided population where you got more women than men in society.
Yeah.
I mean, and it stands to reason that after World War II, when men are returning home, the major attack on labor, you pay a woman 50 cents on the dollar of what you pay a man because it's assumed that women are less capable than males are. And it's not so. What's happening is that, well, if there's a statute, right, that says I can legally pay a woman 50 cents on every dollar that I pay a man for doing the same level of labor, right, making tanks and tools and operating phones and switchboards and all this other crap. Why would I want to go back and pay double for a man to do that job? You see, this is really one of the effects of unchecked capitalism. A thing called deregulation, right? This is one of its effects. Though you still have people that swear by that capitalism is the best thing smoking. It's going to be the best thing smoking going into the future, when that very thing that they think is the best thing is what has been causing these tremendous losses when you're talking about collapses of the stock market, shareholders losing life savings.
Yeah.
Nobody goes to prison for these things.
Nope.
No,
but
exactly.
Then when these people end up penniless and on the verge of either suicide or killing their whole family in a multiple murder suicide, they say, "Oh, he should have never did that." It's like they're thinking of that's just the effect of the very thing that just a minute ago, whenever he was making money on that same stock market as a shareholder, he thought it was the best thing smoking. When he was robbing people of their wealth, because that's really what the stock market is, right? because it's a legal transfer of wealth.
Yeah.
But where the house always wins.
Tell me about it. Let me I'll give you 5 more minutes. Let me go ahead and shout out our support to the channel. Thank you so much, Vonda. You have made Sheed sing. So Sheed, hit it.
I've been practicing. I'm almost as good. Almost.
I will
Again,
never tire of that, by the way.
Right? It's so epic.
When I first heard it, I thought it was Terrence Howard.
Come on now.
Oh man.
Don't do Sheed like that. That ain't no Terrence.
I was gonna say, you must be thinking about when Shar serenades us. No.
Right. There you go. Get it right. Get it straight.
That's not even Shar said right.
Yeah. You know,
that's brilliant.
But yeah, now we literally transport that whole argument. You know, war, right? Women's rights, labor rights, right? Then we get into the modern age, digital media. The rights, whether these people in the so-called manosphere know it or not, they don't have any rights to their names. They don't. They simply don't. Yeah. I mean, you got to think about it.
Why?
Well, because they are considered public properties. Anything that you put out there for public consumption, that's why we have the Fair Use Act. So even if this guy used their name without their permission, it doesn't add up to a hill of beans. I don't want to be associated with it because by legal standards, he doesn't have to pay him a goddamn dime. He can use their name as much as they want. Because manosphere is all encompassing.
Well, but I would think, right? So if you put my name into a magazine and imply that this is my message, right? And it's clearly, opposed to the message I'm actually sending, that I might be able to sue you for libel of some sort. Because you are basically lying about, my intentions, my purposes, my beliefs, what I state, right? You're saying, oh, this is my rhetoric when it's clearly nothing I've ever said.
Yeah, it's slander.
Slander, right? Libel, something.
Slander, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is that it would just be his word against that content creators.
Well, you would have, I mean, that's true, but you would also have here's my facts as far as here's the things I've actually written and published, and here's my content that I produce on a regular basis, daily and whatever, and where's your proof that you ever spoke to me and I ever A, said this, or B, you know what I mean, and anyway said, put this into a magazine under my name.
But that would be a non-starter because he'd still be protected by fair use.
But see, I don't think so. I think that, and that's why I think it's a slippery slope. He can use their names, but he can't use my name in the way of saying I said this. So you can't say this is my message and I'm co-signing it if I never said it. Especially if it's opposed to what I've said. Then in that case, I do think you might have an argument.
But there's when in a court of law, right? In the court of law, the person that's getting sued doesn't have to produce any evidence that somebody didn't say something. The person suing somebody, they have to prove that they didn't say it, which is why it's such a perfect hustle, right? That's why it's a perfect hustle, because the burden of proof is on the person that's pursuant of this thing called justice in the court. That's why he can still use their names. It doesn't even matter. But apparently, these Negroes in the manosphere don't really read a whole lot, let alone
anything. No. Mm-mm.
the user agreements or community guidelines that are associated with YouTube. YouTube owns your channel.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
YouTube owns your channel. As a matter of fact, you don't even have to go into a partnership program for them to monetize your channel for their benefit.
Right.
True,
Mhm.
true.
Ads on top of ads.
Mhm.
But see, but who is the bigger criminal here? This 2-bit hustler from some the realm of make believe, where he can literally issue out his own doctorate degrees to himself.
Amazing, isn't it? He's 4. I have 4 PhDs because I gave myself 3. Imagine the gall. Imagine the cojones on that one. Like he claims it
Or
proudly.
is the bigger criminal the machine itself, the machine that we call YouTube, that doesn't even need your permission, because when you clicked that user agreement to make your channel, you have agreed to literally give over your name and likeness, along with your voice, along with any kind of music, which is why you see like all of the smart people that get into music or singing or rap or whatever, they tend to use things like Spotify and ASCAP and all those other great
Mhm.
things. Like
Mhm.
YouTube is like the last thing that they go to, like after all of those things are set in motion,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
Now, can you name any YouTuber that is part of the manosphere that has ASCAP'd his own name, rhetoric, likeness?
Maybe O'Shea, just because he was smart enough to trademark the Negro Manosphere. But again, that's a
O'Shea can't.
maybe. I
One,
don't know.
O'Shea can't do it. Can't do that himself. One, because O'Shea Duke Jackson is the name of a
It's
real
right.
person.
Yeah, he can't do it. You're right.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
right. Darn. Oh
Yeah. So
well.
then, no, that would have been my best guess for someone who actually would have done that. Yeah.
Like which would actually make him a criminal, because one would have to ask, did you ask Ice Cube to use his fucking real name as the name of your YouTube channel?
Mhm. Mhm.
So all of that goofy shit, oh man, you didn't use my name, you didn't put in no work. Nigga, you literally rode Ice Cube's legal government name
Hmm.
for personal
Mm.
gain. Did you cut Ice Cube a check?
Hmm.
Probably not.
Is Ice,
No.
is Ice Cube getting some kind of royalties from you using his name? So
Mm.
what would be the difference between this guy, Father's Time, using any of these niggas' names in the manosphere, and O'Shea using Ice Cube's name? Because I'll keep it 100. Feels me, I'd be suing O'Shea Duke Jackson if I was Ice Cube.
See, I think that the slight difference, right? There's a difference between you using my name and my image and saying I, the actual person under this name, right, said and did XYZ when I didn't, versus just stealing my name from me and labeling it on some new person, and then that new person can say or do whatever under my name, right? Like I own the name Classic Ruby, but I don't technically own it. So if they just made up another Classic Ruby and put it on a whole new persona, right? That's a little bit different than saying that me, this Classic Ruby, said and did stuff I didn't do. So I see a difference. I just think it's a very difficult kind of gray area. Like how do you even fight it? It's not
Yeah.
super clear. I think it would take a lot of money and time. And when you're talking about a group of individuals who struggle to read, or show up for their child support cases where they don't even have to do much research into legalese trying to figure out all that crap. I don't see anyone actually doing it. And that's what I was saying. That this is a very dangerous place now that everyone in the Black manosphere is in. And they don't realize it. They feel so placated by, okay, I won't use your name if you don't want me to. They feel so placated by that. And there's nothing safe anymore. Like, this is not, like I say, he has his target set on this space and everything within it. And he's clearly not working in good faith. So,
but let's be honest. Do you know why he feels so embracing to do it? And I've always suspected this, because you know,
okay.
and I have to sometimes have to withhold the flux capacitor for this very reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, he's a proxy for white capital.
Yeah.
So that they can run their conservative-based idealism for the next running election, which is why you see the Senate Republicans literally dodging every with great Herculean effort, by the way, dodging a trial in which Donald Trump gets indicted for inciting an insurrection, an attempted coup.
Right.
Why? Because they want to run him for 2024. That's what they want to do. They want to run him for 2024. And we got this thing off the ground. I mean, you saw it with Kwame Brown coming up on the scene, and then you saw the leeches come out of the woodwork. Like the Jason Whitlock, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Lordy, y'all let me back into media. Please let me back into the mainstream media. It's so hard out here for it's so hard out here for a struggling article writer slash commenter without the mainstream media machine behind me. And next thing you know, he's running with, guess who else's talking points? The manosphere. But you notice nobody who associates themselves or just blatantly states that, I'm a manosphere guy, stands behind their own work. They don't stand behind it. Because if they were standing behind it, you would think there would be a lot of encouragement for this manosphere magazine.
At least by someone else, I'll just put it that way. Or a group of people, maybe.
But we know this is white capital creeping in and using this Negro as a proxy, right?
Okay, y'all, wait. I have a question. I got a question now. And my question is because while you've been talking, right, I just decided to go look at the trademarks again, or the trademark, rather. And there's a second one now. So what I'm putting in, hopefully you can click on it and see it. That's the original, that's the thing that everyone's referring to. He trademarked the Black Manosphere back in May. But he just ran another trademark, and that's August 11th.
Yeah, what? 10 days ago.
Yeah. Where's the... I clicked on it. There we go. Okay. So I don't know if I sent you the first one or the second one now in retrospect, so I guess you'll see. We'll have to look at the date. But I think this is the second one now. So he just put in another trademark.
For what? The same name?
I don't know. Shark, can you open them for me really quick?
One of them won't show up for me.
Oh, will it not?
The top one. Crap. Yeah, just say this search session has expired. Please.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna send. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take a picture of it and send it to you. I should just do my laptop more often because I'm confused by this. Because why did he need the second one? And I'm not seeing why it's different. But Cerulean, you read more than most of us, including me, and I do read. So I'm thinking maybe you can whittle that down and let us know. But sorry, while I send this to Shark because I'm gonna.
Okay.
Well,
I'm
Like,
in
yeah,
the
why
second
would you
one,
need a second one?
like, what is he doing?
I don't know.
it's quite simple, right? To tie up the loose ends. See, the May 11th is just for what standard was the standard character mark, right? So
Yeah, that's what it said. Yeah.
standard character mark. Now, the second one, now mind you, attorney of record is the same guy.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
One is for a service mark principle, and the second one had to be for a trademark principle.
Okay. So what is the difference? What does that mean?
So service mark, if anybody, he can literally sue you for offering any of the goods and services that are literally listed in the description of what these trademarks list as goods and services, right? So printed magazines in the field of quote unquote self-discovery, personal growth, the relationship and life coaching crap, right? Family coaching, peak performance to motivate, inspire, transform men to boys, and to achieve excellence in areas of spiritual, health, family, appearance, dwelling, mobility, education, profession, leisure, and wealth values. So you're doing these things now that it's got both a service mark principle, which is for your commerce, and trademark, right? Your trademark principle, which just literally gives you, ownership over anything that involves, say, Black Manosphere. It just gives you the ownership itself. It's kind of like having a mortgage versus it's kind of like having it's kind of like going to a car lot, right?
Okay.
And at this car lot, they're selling a car called the Black Manosphere, right? Well, he would be the lien holder.
Okay.
That makes sense with these two. That's what the service mark, because service implies commerce, and that's what it's for. That's what the service mark is for.
And he went and he got that one first because he wanted to make sure that he's the only one who could make money.
He put the cart before the horse. The principle is just, you using the name, yada, 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 just gives you basic ownership. Now with the service mark gives you literally ownership of anything that is under that umbrella of the various services. Right?
Okay.
So whether it's e-commerce or what have you.
So then, okay, so this reminds me then of
which is likely why he couldn't sell you anything, because how you're selling something with the service mark, but you don't have the actual trademark, which gives you the permission to do the e-commerce and all of the other things.
Right. Okay. So that reminds me of this woman who moved to, I think it was Boston, where they say "Hey, hun" or something a lot, and she noticed that everyone there said it, so she made a restaurant named Hey Hun, and then she trademarked it and whatever, and then started punishing the people in the town for using the words at all on anything. Like started sending them cease and desists and threatening to sue them for using language that's like, it's just common language. Like everyone just says "Hey hun" or whatever it is, right? And yeah, and it was this whole thing, and that's like why her restaurant was like dead and dying. But that's what it reminds me of. It's like, so you can sue people not just for selling something that is titled "Hey hun," whatever, but for using the words. Like, I own those words now. Like, that was basically what she did. So that's what it sounds like to me. Like, at first, he bought the thing that if you put the Black Manosphere on a book or whatever, you can't sell that because I own the ability to sell something with that label. But then, like, he also just came in now and he can control who's allowed to use the words "the Black Manosphere" when referring to themselves. even in any type of way. He can send you a cease and desist because he's decided that you can't associate yourself with the Black Manosphere because he owns the Black Manosphere. You can't associate yourself with those words anymore. Is that what, like, basically you're saying, Cerulean? Because this is what it sounds like to me.
Service mark means that if you are getting, your channel's monetized on YouTube or on any platform, he can literally sequester the forces of YouTube to flip whatever, say, ad revenue money into his pockets. You know, kind of like when you do when you get like a not really a copyright violation, but they give you one of those warnings, say, well, this, you know, you don't have to do anything because whatever money is made off of this video will be, you know, will be directed to the owner of said material in the video. Right? Like if you played a song, the money from that video will go to whoever the owner of that song is. That's basically what that is. That's why the service mark, that comes after your trademark. He did the service mark before he even did the trademark. But the service, the trademark just gives you the rights to do those things on a commercial basis, right? Now, the service mark allows you to legally go after for as far as monetarily for e-commerce. So you're associated with Black Manosphere, he can literally sequester forces of YouTube or whatever platform you're on, because you mentioned the Black Manosphere, said the Black Manosphere, said that you're part of Black Manosphere or what have you, and have them direct whatever ad revenue to his pocket. That's what the service mark does.
Okay. Well, I'm about to pass out, and I did in good
He could give you
extend the extra 5 minutes to another 10 minutes.
I'm sorry, Char, but he could literally give these niggas 50 cents on the dollar.
This is something else, and I'm gonna tell you, if I get any emails, any concerns, anything in the description, not the description, comment section, we'll discuss some of this later. Okay. I want to thank everyone for joining the show. Thank you so much, everyone, for your comments, your likes, your shares, your donations. I appreciate it. I may have a few people, well, I do, that are new. And just to let you know that on Saturdays, we have the article reaction show. And that is at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I will play that commercial on the way out. And I hope you guys have a great night. And until we meet again, peace.
Peace out, family.
Salute to the nation.
Hey, folks, it's your nighttime, it's your right time DJ Music. Make sure you join Char Willie each and every Saturday, 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central, for article reaction, right here on your local YouTube channel. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe to Article Reaction.